Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Zwift New Live Broadcast. It's the Zwift Racing Leagues presented by WTRL. We're in 2023-24, round 3, race 4 for EMEA Europe broadcast. We've got 5 races coming at you today. We're starting in with, I believe it's the Southern one with the A category. We'll cover the D's at the back end of it. It's Innsbruck Ring for 3 laps. I'm Nathan Guerra. Dave Towle is here for all of the most amazing one-liners to ever come out of North America. And Hexagon, SZ, Caleb Carl, it's all popping off in Innsbruck already. They're 4K in the A race, Dave. Here we go.
Nice way to make me feel great already at the start here, Nathan. So I love this course. This is really, when you look at it, the dream North American criterium course. Putting in one sector that's devastating. What leg snapper is about half a kilometer, little less than that, about a 7% grade. So this is really comparable to what an awesome criterium course is like, but it's a little longer lap, to tell you too. So it's more like a circuit / criterium, but it's got everything that you're looking for. That's for sure.
Yeah, and look at this. Exactly what we're looking for. Tori off the front. What's going on here? Like, right before the leg snap. All right, it was pretty calm leading in. We can show you some replay if you want to see it. There are a couple of attacks a little bit earlier. It was Hexagon pushing. It was Team SZ pushing a little bit. We can take a quick look who is all in this. We've got the Dragons currently leading at 59 points. Skylab is there at 53. Hexagon A2 at 49 points. WEZ is here. SZ, KC Brave Breeze. It's going to be Ride Club Finland, Foudre, and Ultra RC Racer D. Those are the teams out here today. There may be one or two underneath. Let's see here really quick. Nope, 9 teams in total. So that's the situation. And Skylab here on the attack to try and bring back those 4 points, as you can see in the overall league standings. It's going to be a lot of ask, though, with the Dragons showing up out of Germany today.
Yeah, so, Nathan, I love this, though. It's got just the right number of ingredients here. Like, when you look at it, the Dragons are not safe at all, even though we're into the 4th of 6 races in this final season 3 here. If Skylab can get a little bit of help, and I do see there's some action happening here, but Skylab, if they can get Hexagon, we're elite Zwifters, the Swedes to step up. Kirkmeyer as well. Kirkmeyer has some roots here in Austria where we're racing today as they go over the leg snap for the first time, and it looks like Grupo Compacto. But Nathan, Skylab needs some help there if they want to take the top of the table away from the Dragons. As here we go in with Ollie Peckover. Now it's a selective course. I saw some people throwing shade on the Ghost. Nathan, I guess we should talk quickly about the power-ups here today.
Yeah, so what do you think's going on there? You think it's because
haters.
Well, you know why? I think it's because when it's collected. That might have something to do with it. It was
too late in the race. Yeah,
well,
I think that
wait. Is it random, though? I got to double check and see when it comes at them, because is it actually selected that, like, this banner gets this one and this banner gets this one? Because it looks like
it doesn't look
everybody
like it.
Got a bunch of different power-ups over the top of there.
It looks randomly distributed,
yeah,
for sure,
so that
Nathan.
would tell me that, look, you just got a little unlucky going into the finish, and other people did, too. I mean, I don't know, like... I would be kind of weird.
That attitude helps.
It would be kind of lame to get a Ghost power up, going into this sprint banner we're about to see. Now, it is a scratch race out here, so these sprints aren't going to matter. And I get it, but at the same time, I'm going to say that you could have used the Ghost power up the moment that you got it. Yeah, you don't want to use it in the last 200 meters, or is it 300 or 500 meters, something along those lines. But look, then use your Ghost power up. Or if you don't want a Ghost, you're going to have to save your feather or your arrow, because guess what? You won't get one then. So there's that.
That's your pro tip. I completely agree. If it means that much to you to not have a Ghost at the end, you're going to have to, take matters in your own hands. So it definitely, it is noteworthy, Nathan, how the power-ups do make a big difference. There's no question. So we're going to go back, picking up the first of 3 laps out here today. I don't know what's going on in the text conversation with Ollie and company here. Someone's mom is trolling riders, I guess. Yeah, not a surprise. These teams are deploying all kinds of tactics.
This section, of course, is dangerous, Dave. Immediately after the leg snapper, there tends to be a little bit of a lull. And, on the downhill, you can take that speed through. and go on the attack. I think somebody just had a full-on dropout for a second there, or we were jumping around for some odd reason. Interesting enough. But as you can see, the riders are taking advantage of this section of course. There's a lot of roll through speed you can take in. There's a little bump here at a 1% that then you can jump over the top of kind of, and then try and make something happen. But Limpan here, interesting enough, he's just pressing the pace at the front of 4.6. This is steady. This isn't an attack, but he's definitely keeping the pace high.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that at this point in the race, that's all you really need to give, as we've got a long way to go out here. It is noteworthy that there's no FAL or FTS today. This is a scratch race with just a pure bike race from start to the finish line where all of the points are waiting. So this one plays out. Sometimes the simpler you make the race, the more exciting it is, to tell you the truth. We've said many times that racers make the race, and that's exactly what we're going to witness out here today. So 3 laps, 3 trips up the leg snapper. I don't know. Oh, here's an attack going.
Yeah, there's
clear.
a ghost that just went for sure. That's gonna be Ferner. No, Danny's. Now Danny's here from Hexagon was pressing on. Ferner was actually the rider who used the ghost power up to jump on the wheel. I like personally, I really like it when this section of course specifically to try on these flatter, because if you get a little bit of time here and then you've got something in the tank, you can really take advantage of it on that little false flat of a climb over the bridge that heads over into the cobble section right before the leg snapper. This is what, in my opinion, the most opportune time to win the race in a breakaway is actually this section of course from here to that bridge section.
Well said, Nathan. I'm taking a look at this peloton as it strings out a little bit. You see that Jacek Karlik is starting today here. And definitely, when you look, Jacek is, in my mind, the biggest danger dragon that we've got, to tell you the truth today. And these dragons sitting on top of the table so far, they've won every event this season except for the race that they got second in. So it's going to take a lot to beat them. But I think these teams, Nathan, I get a feeling that they're gearing up to bring some special sauce out here today, as this is Henri Bontsev is one of the Finnish riders sitting back in this group. And Nathan, I am looking to see what team he is on.
Yeah, coming out.
I see. It's got to be Ride Club Finland, isn't it?
I would think so. Yeah, and he's in that kit. It looks like he is in that kit. We're getting familiar still with some of the kits out here as well that they are using. One thing I do like about the new rules with Zwift Racing League over the last couple of seasons is people have definitely taken to them to recognize, hey, what kit do you have to wear? And most of the time, they have been swapping. If you do get reported on it, there can be penalties. So just be aware that, hey, make sure that usually it's like a little bit of a wrist slap, but, make sure that you're changing up to the right kit, because it's a big deal in game to recognize who is who.
I completely agree, Nathan, along the lines of we have seen the compliance has been at an all-time high. I feel like the safety officer, using a term like compliance, right? But definitely it helps for sure on many different levels. So good job to all of our ZRL racers. There's really amazing when you look at how strong this community is. As we take a look at a group, the second time up the leg snapper, Nathan, this is a decent chance you see a few riders getting spit out the back end of the group, but I wouldn't expect a major split at this point. A lot of these riders are going to be looking to save it for the finish today, is my thought. With no FAL or FTS, the role players on the teams, Nathan, that might get out and attack early, try to scoop up some points, get out in front of it, doesn't exist.
AT got his own logo, this guy, Adele Tabalong. 61 kilograms, level 65, currently at the front at 347, pushing along here, riding for that WEZ team. And
they live up to the world element, don't they, at World Elite Zwifters? Is the Indonesian flag the flipped version of the Polish flag?
That's a good question.
It almost feels like it's the two same colors in the same pattern. I'm going to have to double check on that. I don't think we have any Polish riders in this field right now.
Huh.
Always do some homework. It's cool to see World Elite Zwifters, Nathan. They're a legacy team as well. When we talk about the squads that have just represented at the highest level, whether it's Zwift Grand Prix and obviously looking forward to Zwift Games coming up, it's great to have world representation, and that's exactly what we've got. Oh, you know what I think is a little bit different there is that there's a little bit of an insignia there in the Indonesian flag that you don't see in the Polish one.
Ah, gotcha. No push on here from Camille Denise. Denise, thank you. 54 kilograms, level 98 hexagon rider. This guy, watch out if we get into a breakaway situation with him. I think he's a danger, man. 6 watts per kilogram at 340. This guy can really
he should be
smash
flying.
The climbs.
Yeah, he should be absolutely levitating up the leg snapper. The third lap, maybe he goes, sees if he can hold on. I mean, that seems like the obvious play, doesn't it, Nathan? When you look, I mean, we were joking during one of the Zwift Community Live broadcasts recently about if your weight in kilograms matches your level, you're doing pretty well. Well, he's almost a 2-to-1 ratio here when you look at the amount of experience. I mean, 100 is the new top floor of Zwifting, and it's getting active out here, and it looks like the Swedes are starting to push. And I think we're seeing now, Nathan, a big effort from World Elite Zwifters here to spice things up.
Yeah, what's interesting to me is that World Elite Zwifters seem to be pressing the pace going into the leg snapper. Ferner's doing it here as well, using an arrow power up on the flats prior. This is a planned situation to make things difficult. Tablong now kicking 9.6 watts per kilogram. Bunsev right on the wheel there here. Dave, is this going to put any pain into the legs though behind 4.3, 4.5? We are seeing some pretty good numbers here behind, but I don't think the heart rates are too high to where it's going to cause a lot of damage. Well, separations there. That's what you got to see. If it's going to do anything, you got to see that kind of separation. They are starting to roll out the front a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good indicator, Nathan, that it is having an impact. There's a lot of riders sitting back in this peloton, though, like Caleb Carl, Ollie Peckover, Carlos Flores, the Chilean Condor is there. But this is very, very active on the front. But, Nathan, I have a feeling this may backfire on a few riders out here as well, as when push comes to shove, as we're just coming to the middle point of this race right now. Let's call it 27K. That's a little long on the odometer, to tell you the truth. 3 laps out here as we're well into lap number 2. What's really important is they've got 2 more trips up the leg snapper. That's almost 1 full kilometer of climbing at 7%, split up over the next final 2 laps.
Tori back on the front for Skylab, coming out of Great Britain. It's going to be strong here. WEZ Eifert from the Dragons. It's Ariel also coming through. Be on the watch out for this rider. He's been a danger man as of recently. Somebody I've seen at the front plenty now. But here comes, wow, what's with all these arrow power-ups going into the leg snapper? Carrying speed, interesting enough. Tablong now kicking again, 9 watts per kilogram or so. Johnson now from Skylab leading things out. But Tablong here coming across. It looks like on the attack. Now here comes the arrow power from behind. Is that going to be, not the hexagon rider, I think it's Beckham actually that's coming through. Nice punch here coming from the Swedish rider.
Wow. Look at these numbers here, Nathan. You've got to take this moment in the race really seriously. As coming through this sector, it's not only over the top. The way that they race these days, we've joked about it, but it's really no joke, is that the downhill is the new uphill, and there is that gut punch that you get as you come over the top of the leg snapper when the riders who want to continue on, that continuance might be the difference maker out here. Look at how the arrow power-ups are absolutely critical here if you want to be in the right place at the right time, and this is Timothy Tori here, the Skylab rider. Really, I mean, I wouldn't say that this is not just for himself, Nathan, but this is going to benefit his team greatly, as they're going to have to press hard to try to bring Timothy Tori back into the group. But the dynamics at play now, you're going to see, well, does the roll through? Wow, Tori, very, very strong. Didn't quite blow that group to bits, though.
No, it didn't. He came over the top with a lot of speed, but it is really dangerous to try and go at exactly that moment with too much effort, because this is what you see. The pack comes through, ton of speed, lots of roll through, and bam, as you can see, they don't got to work a whole lot, Dave, do they, when it comes to sitting in that draft on a negative gradient like that? It can be very difficult for him.
Yeah, you really want to encourage the active racing and love to see it, but absolutely the name of the game here is not burning your candle down to melted wax in lap number 2. You've got to have something to give for the finale because that's what it's going to take. We're kind of getting a good preview of what it's going to be like during that run-in coming up another 10, 15 minutes from now when we get into the finale. But I think this group, lock, stock, and barrel, Nathan, I don't know that over the next half lap you're going to be able to attack and get away or even attack and really have a huge impact here. If I'm a director, I'm going to tell my riders to cool their jets.
Jumping in with Ken Chong here, coming out of Singapore. Do you know there's a pretty cool cycling community in Singapore, actually? Not you can get across the entirety of the country, I think, in a day or so. But definitely I've seen some cool events coming out of there with some friends in the gaming community, actually, who are also Zwifters. So good to see Ken out here putting in a solid effort amongst this A crew and the WEZ World Elite Zwifters.
I have a feeling that you're being generous with the day, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
I'm going to take a look.
You're probably right.
I might be able to walk across Singapore in a day. I'm wondering, though. I could be wrong, so I'm not saying that all correcting you. We're going to have to check in, do a little. Because you know what, Nathan? It's really nice, especially this time of day, to see representation coming out of Asia. I mean, that's just extremely cool to see out here racing Ken. Ken can make some watts. Holy cow. Well, there's a danger, man.
Watch out for this guy. What is going on? 16.
That's the biggest number.
5? I don't know if I've seen that kind of... that's crazy. We do have an attack off the front here. Penland now making a move. The Dragons now. Nice move here coming from them. 6 watts per kilogram, as you can see. And 5.8. Penland here. Danger, danger, danger. Let this guy go. This is going to be Nathan Penland riding for the Dragons.
When I was a kid, Nathan, which puts us back into the 70s and 80s, the 10-time consecutive world professional sprint champion was a rider named Koichi Nakano, a Japanese gentleman who absolutely dominated that's the Kirin world, right? So there is something to be said for the Asian sprinter prototype. And definitely watching out for Ken today is going to be fun in the finale. But there's a rider, one of the Dragons. This is the top team in the league. They have been absolutely phenomenal, not just racing in the ZRL, Nathan. We've seen them. This is Nathan Penland, the American Dragon. Actually, it's very rare that you see an American Dragon. And here it is.
I like it. Very rare we see an American Dragon here. I live in America.
You might be the only one.
I've literally never seen a dragon in America. So if I do, I'm gonna create a shelter for protection for these guys. I mean, but all right. So 5.5. This is pretty solid here, and he's got a little bit of a gap. This could become danger. I would not be surprised if we start seeing jumps across to try and get involved into this breakaway, or we'll see a team at the front start driving the pace. 177 beats per minute, though, currently coming from Penland. So this is a pretty obviously solid effort. 5 seconds now. Soylander there at the front, only at 3.5. If you do the comparison between the front of that pack and what's happening here with Penland, 50 kilometers per hour. Beckman here now at 46. That is a massive speed difference.
Yeah, wow. So, Nathan, when we look at this for the finale out here today, it's going to come down to how many riders can you get into the top 10? That's where the Lion or the Dragon's share of the points lay. And if you put 3 riders up in the top 10 and including getting 1 in the top 3, you should be in really good shape to take enough points to be the top team, getting the 20 points that the first team gets today, 19 for the second place team based on points. So it's an interesting format. If you've been watching CRL, you've seen this. Nothing has really changed dramatically or even really at all with how that point structure works. But ultimately, there's the element of it's a bike race and these guys come to win. And definitely we're seeing some setup work Danis today, the Hexagon rider. He's been going toe-to-toe with these dragons out here. This is Camille Danis that we're talking about. He's not quite stratospheric, but very solid across the board. His strength, Nathan, really lies down in the endurance end of the table with the 20-minute power. He might be one of the guys that attacks from way out.
If he can get on Penland's wheel here, if he can get up to Penland, which is 6 seconds now at this point, and he's able to work with him, get a good kick over the top of the leg snapper and break things, perhaps. But now he sees the writing on the wall, says enough is enough, going to be caught. I'll work with the pack, it looks like, here at this point, as it is going to be Ken Chong. Now, from Singapore, closing things down for WEZ. 8 seconds still for Penland, though, Dave.
I like that he explored the option. At least, talking about Denise trying to get up there. But Penland now has a major impact on the finale of this race. Even if he doesn't win here, what he's done is put his dragons in a much better position. As you can see, Hexagon, the other teams now are having to respond to this. Is the rider that we haven't talked about much is Caleb Carl. Hexagon going again. I can see another Hexagon attack.
Yeah. So nice pick up there.
But definitely, Nathan, Skylab is going to be a part of this conversation. Just hold on.
Yeah, they have to be, right? I mean, that's the whole thing here is that the current league standings say it. Hopefully, Nicholas is backed off his smoking habit to try and hold on to this off the front, but 7 watts per kilogram here now. And Dave, this is it seems to be their forte is off the front, push the pace. And, it does kind of speak to, if we do look at the league standings, the reality of ZRL is a lot of times it does reward the punchier riders a little bit. And a lot of these guys from Hexagon seem to be a little bit more of, they like the French Alps perhaps, like they just like to climb.
They definitely fit the prototype, that's for sure. So, Penland's still off the front here, but it looks like that chapter might be coming to an end. That's going to be the American Dragon Penland right now, but the gap's starting to close down as it's Malil, the Hexagon rider now, who, it's hard to say exactly what's going through everybody's mind.
He's going to make the catch, but right behind them, 5 seconds. I mean, and now the thing is, if he accelerates right now and comes over the top of this and they can carry more speed than the pack, which is going to be really difficult to do, but the pack, now he doesn't accelerate. Penland's got to keep the speed. 52, watch the speed differentiation. That's going to be the big question between them and the pack, because the pack might be thinking about the leg snapper. And so they don't carry speed, but Ferner knows his Zwift. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's done this every single lap, and bam, right to the front, bumps it right up to 55, doesn't allow the pack to slow down the downhill, keeps him within striking distance.
Boy, and Nathan, when you talk about Zwiftcraft, the dramatic difference it makes if you come into the leg snapper too slow or lugging your engine. You want to be flying when you hit the bottom of that, much like the Clyde kicker. The real trick is come in hot, just stay on the gas. That's easier said than done.
Look at Hexagon, 3 toward
all
the
over
front.
the front.
We also have Finland there with 2 riders. That's Caleb Carl in the wrong kit, Caleb. Hey, buddy, calling you out. I'm going to get on the stream and start.
We're going to U-turn on you, right Caleb.
Yep. This is my little
U-turn on Caleb Carl.
Come on. That's the warning sign. What's going on here, Carl? We're using, and it's the Tour de Zwift kit. I mean, come on, Carl. All right, just kidding. Skylab on the wheel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th wheel right now, and he's got a little bit of a gap. But Dave, this little lead-in, if you can rest up, and I mean, if you can work together enough to not raise the heart rate too much, this 1 or 2 seconds can matter. If you got enough pop, it really can.
I think Caleb hears you right now as he doesn't go through. He's just trying to stay in the draft, take advantage of that, use this momentum as here we go, entering the finale, enter the Thunderdome here for our first race of round 3, 4th race here. And this one's going to be a beaut as we're back together now. Can I say it, Nathan? Is it Grupo Compacto? It is. All right, one group now. Here we go. And no surprise, Ken Chong, World Elite Zwifters, he's been monitoring the front this entire event.
Yeah, and he's right to the front here. WZ now taking over, it looks like. Sjolander now coming on through the SC rider, 5.7 watts per kilogram. Going to be in the lead out a little bit here, but it's all about the kick. Downhill. Now look at this. -2%, -2%, then boom, that's when you got to really carry that speed through. If you slow down at that point, everybody that's doing the recon right now, you do not want to slow down. You don't necessarily have to kick at that point, but you definitely don't want to be doing less than your over threshold, essentially. And then you kick the orange numbers. You can see getting to this 8%. There's the feather power-ups. Ken Chong now to the front, leading things up in that 192 beats per minute, 600 watts, but it's going to be Mail from Hexagon. Now Oliver Peckover's there as well. Great to see Peckover here back involved at the front of some Zwift racing.
The names that you're seeing right now are most likely the names that are going to be there by the time we get to our finish line. This is it. It just got real. This is Carlos Flores, the Chilean Condor, on the front as they come up and over the top. Here comes the next surge. Now Caleb Carl's still right there. So it looks like Jas Karluk is there as well. The big names, Nathan, are all surviving here, keeping their head above water as we go into the last 4K.
And at the front again, Chong, but he's being smart. Look, not pedaling there, as you can see, making sure not wasting any energy, because there's nothing that's going to be done with it if you're pushing on the front and they're just getting free speed.
They'll use it against you.
Exactly.
Yep.
Look at the back here, Tori. Really watch, though. I'd really be watching the riders that are all congregating right toward the back, not necessarily the ones at the front here right now, because it's really going to be about who's reserved the energy. I'd be watching for some roll through kick in just about 2, maybe even 100 meters from now. As they come down and take this left-hand turn, Dave, you can roll so much speed right off the front, but you wait for that moment that the pack lulls and slows down. But Chong's not going to let that happen. He just presses on to the front, or is that a mistake? Interesting from Chong here.
But was he trying to position and just overcooked it a little bit as he resettles back into the group? Positioning going to be critical. Zwift grab absolutely is going to be one of the tools. If you don't have that in your toolbox, you're not going to win. Hexagon attacking again, so Hexagon sending another rider up the road. They and the Dragons have been the two active teams, I'd say, throughout this event. Let's see if it pays off for him here.
Tori from Skylab now up into the top 10 watts per kilogram. That's a big kick from the front, kind of, though, interesting enough. 49 kilometers per hour here coming in from Tori. Be on the watch out for Tim Tori here for perhaps a late breakaway, but Eifert gets right on top of it.
Jacek Karluk, Nathan, is just locked in right now, sitting up in the top 5 riders, but not putting his nose in the wind. He's going to be really, really tough to beat today. No doubt. It's not just about getting one rider over the line first, though. It's about stacking riders up in the top 10, the top 20. That's how you're going to get maximum points and end up as the top team today. Got to give Tim Tori credit, Nathan. Right out of the United Kingdom, has absolutely made his name known. Ken Chong back to the front for World Elite Zwifters. It feels like we're hearing the same names now, as there's not a lot of filtering back through this group. Kiko Areal is the Spanish Dragon here. Dragons look like they're in pretty good shape, to tell you the truth. Hexagon going to try to upset that apple cart. See a lot of orange jerseys in this group, so they've survived through the thresher. Here we go, Nathan, down to 1.5K to go.
Yeah, and it's going to be Cedric now. It's not a rider that we featured yet so far. Maybe he's been just reserving for this moment. Love to see the patience from this rider, from Cedric Bernard. Now,
perfect
off the
bike
front
for this.
Big
now.
Kick. Yeah, good bike for it. And one of the coming in at 74, I think this is more of your ruler on the team here. Surprised, maybe not saving up. Doesn't have an interest to sprint against these big boys when it comes to the pure kick of 15 seconds, but might be able to do something up into 600 watts, 51 kilometers per hour. They're sleeping a little bit here. Ken, though, now on the move behind.
Nicholas Male, I think, is the Hexagon man that he's hoping to set up here at worst. It really is one of these, and it looks like another attack coming out of the group here. So who is this going to be? Now, it is Ken Chong, isn't it? As Chong has now taken his turn, and this is a little bit of a surprise, as I thought he would have trusted in his sprint. He's going to get out in front of it. We're down to 1K to go, and Chong is just going to go right by Cedric here. So how about this effort now from the World Elite Zwifter, attacking with old school fury here in Austria. This is what the Innsbruck ring is all about, Nathan. He's going to see that banner here. Finish line is right there. Can he hold on?
Ooh, Cedric kicking again. I think it's going to go 1-2 now when it comes to Ken Chong. Breakaway is going to survive, it looks like. Red from the Dragons kicking up at the 12 watts per kilogram. Coming on quickly here, but Chong is going to survive. The big question is whether or not Bernard is going to hold on for second. I think he's going to get caught by the Dragons right at the line. No, just barely makes it happen. Eifert now across for fourth, but it is going to be WEZ able to make it happen.
But now you start wondering how many riders got up into the top 10 for these teams. Skylab was there, but it looks like the Dragons may have done enough to me just on a thumbnail sketch. But there you go, that mad rush to the line here, finishing strong as a decent-sized group survives. Here's how the results are showing now. Our provisional results show Ken Chong as our winner. Cedric Bernard, good for second. Red coming through for third. Jan Eifert, fourth. Nicholas Mal for fifth. Mads Brewster in sixth. George Safranauskas in seventh. Carlos Flores, eighth today. Jacek Karluk in ninth. Ollie Peckover rounding out our top 10. But they'll have to go a lot deeper than that as they analyze the points. Kiko Arayala in 11th, Tim Torrey for 12th, Jussi Taskinen for 13th, Henri Bontsiev in 14th, Caleb Carl 15th today, Tatu Kostinen in 16th, Harry Johnson in 17th, it's Harburg for 18th, Nathan Penland 19th, and David Henderson rounding out our top 20 for the A's out here.
We can go out to 27. Might as well.
We'll take it out to the top 27 with Limpan in 21st, Pale Scholander in 22nd, Carl Beckman 23rd, Thomas Lemaitre in 24th, it's Ferner 25th, Quentin Ruffier in 26th, then Camille Danis in 27th. So that's our A's out here as we work through our fourth round, or I keep saying round, our fourth event in this third season. We have women's racing to look forward to. I'm sure that everybody today.
This was the standings and that men's coming in. Just as a heads up here, when we looked at those results, Dave, did we see a lot of Dragons toward the top? I'm looking through here. I saw 1, 2, but WZ, they might get a little bit of a bump there. Looking through, Hexagon had actually. So I'm gonna show this real quickly again. So if we look at this, Hexagon are gonna get a good bump, I think, because they were second, they were fifth, they were also sixth. It looked like as well. Well, there's also a couple Dragons in here, 2 Dragons, 3 Dragons. So it's gonna be close still. I think maybe the losers a little bit on the day are Skylab though, Dave. I think they struggled to get a good result out here.
Yeah, I'm going to say because the Dragons also have 11th place with Kiko. So they have 4 riders in the top 11. You're not going to come over the top of that with points.
Yeah, good call. That's a good call here. Well, we're jumping in with the ladies. We've got about 3 minutes to go to the start of this race with the women's EMEA Central 1. Dave, big hitters in here today. Absolutely love to see the kind of talent. Asa Fast Berglund is in here, level 67, representing Sweden. She was on the Swedish Worlds team, I believe, as you do see that kit representing her nation. Plenty of big hitters, though. I mean, it doesn't.
Anna Embring as well.
Anna
and
Embring,
Sarah London. Yeah,
Cecilia
that team
Hansen.
Yeah. I mean, these are some of the legends of the sport, actually, that we're looking at here on that Swedish Swifters team. That being said, they're still vulnerable out here. I see that Alice Lethbridge is showing up today with her Coalition Alpha team. That's a noteworthy name. She would be in the Hall of Fame, I would say, for Zwift racers. But yeah, Katie Hill has been one of the revelations that's come out of Zwift, without any doubt. What a tremendous talent the Aeonian
Check the helmet. Is that a ZA helmet? No, she's a Zwift Academy finalist. So this year. So definitely somebody to be watching out for here. I think that helmet
that's the Canyon SRAM helmet. Yeah.
So pretty good. Cool to see.
Pretty cool.
Up. Yeah, for sure.
Cool bit of kit to have there. Let's take a look at the Wahoo Lacole team as well. I mean, you could spend 15 minutes just looking at the roster out here today. Wahoo Lacole. Well, it's an interesting group. Katy Perry, Carrie Stewart, Jennifer Sine-Jones, Emily Hillier, and Aline Herrick on that squad. And I got to add Adele in there as well, Adele Battersby on that Wahoo Lacole squad. Always watch out for them. As it looks like they've zeroed out the odometers, we should be racing here in just a moment. 3 laps out on the leg snapper today. The Innsbruck Ring is one of, I would say, the racers' more popular courses out here. There's Steph.
Looks like
Getting the
finishing up a Iron Man. No joke, that's for sure. Good to see. Ellie Sykes is also here riding for Aeonian, and also working at Zwift. Stern, who is Stern? This is not a familiar rider to me. L Stern coming out of Switzerland. See if I can get some information because she's got a UCI Pro kit there. It looks like. What's the jersey you see in there, Dave?
I'm not recognizing it, to tell you the truth.
Hmm.
Do a little research here. That's an interesting one. Good catch, Nathan.
Leah Stern
Swiss
taking off.
rider.
Watch the energy bars right from the get go here, Dave. Like right from the get go. It's gonna be always a fast one as we head out for 3 laps. Innsbruck Ring. It's gonna be a fast one out here today. As the current standings amongst these ladies, this is where things are at. Actually, Dave, interesting. Is this right? Aeonian RT. They're at the top, it looks like, Dave.
And they've been unbeaten as well. The gold standard here. You can see how close it is between the Thundercats and the Swedish Swifters. They're BL13 and SZ. Just 1 point separating them, but somewhat similar to what we saw with the men's race a little bit earlier. It's certainly not unassailable, but both BL13 and Swedish Swifters with Wahoo Cole right there, they're going to need a little bit of help or combined effort there if they want to see one of these teams leapfrog Aeonian on top of the table. But Aeonian's been perfect so far. Let's see if they can make it 4 for 4 out here on Innsbruck Ring. Challenging course. 3 laps, enough times up the leg snap for the final time you see riders saying no mas, throwing in the towel. Enough is enough. And this group, I would imagine, with riders like Katie Hill out here, not everybody's going to survive into the front group that makes the last sprint today. Hard to imagine a solo rider winning, but we just witnessed it with Ken Chong. So time the attack right. You can make a miracle happen.
Hansen's actually riding for Aeonian. Okay, gotcha. So, for some reason I didn't pick up on that. So that's going to be obviously part of the reason why.
That's significant, actually. I did not know that either, Nathan. And I feel like that is a massive pickup for a team that's already has an embarrassment of riches.
Yeah. Interesting here. Moving forward, Katie Hill. I mean, they've got, looking at this, they've really kind of stacked the roster in this one, actually. I'm looking across all of the riders here, and when you get a really good look at the quality of the Aeonian team that's showed up for this specific here, this is about as good as it gets. Leonie Harper,
it's interesting.
Cecilia Hansen, Palone Aiken, Ellie Sykes, Katie Hill, Femme de Z. I mean, this is why right here. You look at this roster, and there is not a weak link amongst it.
I mean, if you do me a favor, Nathan, call up that Swedish Swifters roster, though. I mean, if you want to talk about going toe to toe, they match up quite nicely with Asa Fast Berglund, Anna Emring, Sarah Lund. I mean, these are all massive names. Marlene Bjarhid as well. So it's going to be really great racing.
Yeah, no Bjarhid actually one of the most experienced riders I wouldn't be surprised if she's close to level 100 at this point. She's been she's been racing Zwift from the get-go. So definitely somebody to watch out from Marlene that can make things happen simply just from experience.
And how good is Katie Hill right now, the Aeonian rider? I mean, she's coming off of, she very well, I mean, we don't know. The broadcast will be coming up in, I think, a week, actually, right? The Zwift Academy should begin airing. I believe it's on the 20th.
It's real soon. It's real soon. I don't know the exact
something
date,
close to that. And you'll see plenty of riders that you'll have spent time enjoying watching racing on Zwift Community Live taking part in that. But one of them racing with us right now, who very well could be the winner. We don't know.
Who's all shown up for the SZ team today is a big question as well. Rundqvist, that's a name that I'm not extremely familiar with, actually. Who is
Malin
Malin?
Rundqvist?
Yeah,
right?
That's a new one to me.
Well, and that's a good sign for a legacy team is when you do bring in new talent. No one is going to be able to race forever. And these teams, if you want sustainability, it's about finding fresh talent and just energy. It's always good to make a new friend, isn't it? And for these teams that bringing on a quality rider is hard to do. There's not many women that can race at this level. As this group, though, Nathan, very savvy. The way they're going into this one, nobody wants to waste any bullets out here before they get to the leg snapper the first time. That's a good look at Malin out there. Looks like riding on the high mountains.
With a lot of graffiti.
Yeah.
High mountains with a lot of graffiti.
I don't feel like graffiti is a Swedish thing. That's not Sweden.
There. No, you think?
No, that looks very much down on the continent, I would say. I couldn't imagine Swedes ever graffitiing snow. Right? It just would.
She might have. Now we might get some comments about that. We might get some comments like, how many times you been to Sweden? I don't know. I have no idea. But
well, I have been. I lived in Norway for 3 years of my life, so I can definitely.
Gotcha. Well, that's awesome. I have no idea. No idea. That's for sure. Well, you wanted to take a look at this team. These are the big hitters when it comes to the Swedish Zwifters. I think we've got 5 out here today, if I'm not incorrect. I'm not sure they showed up with 6.
Right. I'm trying to double check because, looks like you're correct there. They're all talents. We had a chance already to see Asa Fast Bergman earlier, but this is a team outside of Ronqvist, who we were just discussing. There's as much experience on this team as any team, man or woman, out there, to tell you the truth. The Zwiftcraft's so strong with this group. And that is partly why you're seeing this race, not at a stalemate, but there's every rider here realizes, Nathan, that attacking right now, it will be nothing but wasted energy, to tell you the truth. With the quality of this group, when they start charging up the leg snapper for the first time, everything that you've done will be right back, being put back in your face.
Yeah, and big risk, little reward now at this point, really, if you were to try and make anything happen, most likely not going anywhere. So putting those chips on the table, you're essentially going 2-7
huge risk, no reward.
It's not pocket aces. It's 2-7 unstudied.
It's 2-7
going to the flop.
Yeah, exactly. And they all know that. It was interesting to see how aggressive the men race. Now, there can be an element of wanting to soften up the group, but that's not what's happening here. Kind of really can play it 2 different ways, can't you? Both sides of that coin when you start a race like this. 27K, 3 laps here on Innsbruck Ring. You either go out hard and try to wear down the other teams and force their hand, or you just wait for your moment and try to explode the race. The ghost power-ups.
This is a rider. We haven't talked about this team a whole lot. I think this is going to be the Belgian team. SPSD is what's in the name. But who is she riding for here? Because I'm not seeing it in
very
the
Dutch in the colors that she's using.
Yeah, interesting. But what kid? Oh, Team NL. Duh. Yeah, thank you so much. Team NL is in the name there. My bad. But watch out. I mean, I think they're sitting in 5th right now. They're a team that could maybe have a good race today and bump themselves up in the standings. 46 points, and they're right behind Wahoo Lacole. So only 1 point off of them as we look at Heike Hedenbo out here today.
I wonder how much, Nathan, on a day like today, riders looking. Oh, Piona Itkin is here.
Yeah, Itkin is here for Ionian rider. Yeah, watch out for her in the sprint for sure.
I wonder how many riders, Nathan, if you look at the balance of how much are you here riding for team points and with that as your driving reason for being versus I'm just out here to get the best result I possibly can. It's going to be a tough race. This is an incredibly strong group of women. This is not that different than a Zwift Grand Prix level. And I just want to just ride my best and get a result today. I could understand that mentality, right? You're in the deep end of the pool here with these women.
Now, one other thing we also have, I mean, there's so many teams out here today, Dave, that are so good. BL13 in their new kit here. I mean, the new this season. Great to see them showing up, and they've been a force to be reckoned with a little bit. A couple of surprises here and there from BL13. We see Hedrick though from WLC. That's an unfamiliar name actually from WLC. They've been doing some shopping, that's for sure, with some new names on the team.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just talking about that. The reinforcements have arrived here. Help is on the way. Feel like the energy is starting to lift a little bit in this group. Certainly the wattage numbers are, Nathan, as here we go. You get the feeling that this is really going to initiate the first really serious racing that we're seeing out here today on lap number 1 for the women.
And this is going to be Aline Hedrick. Hey, you were talking about, one said Katie Bates. Yes. Yeah, lots of rowing talk. Katie Bates once said what? It's lungs on a bike, essentially, when they come on over, because they're some of the strongest freaking athletes in the world when it comes to endurance and aerobic sports. And Aline, obviously, here is one of those.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We're really talking about how cross-country skiing and rowing are the complementary sports for cycling.
What's going on here? Rammert, what's Rammert up to? A little bit of a press, maybe just coming through. Well, I don't know. What's going on there? Katie Hill responding.
Placebo points that existed at the arch there.
We should have a counter. We should have a counter for placebo points. They collected the placebo points.
If there were points, you would have won.
Yeah, no, we should totally do that when it looks like people are actually attacking for something and it wasn't there. And we're like, oh, there's the first placebo point of the day, and we add them up as much as we can. It would essentially be like you'd be winning for doing the wrong things the most is what you would be getting.
And then people would say, that's sick.
You got the placebo points today. Great job.
All right. Well, the group going to settle down again out here. It's going to be interesting. So for every moment that it's chill right now, Nathan, at the end of this race, it just will add to the excitement. The calmer now, the more frenetic it'll be in a little bit.
Okay, I just got to say, I don't recognize most of this team. What is going on here with WLC? They have really been on the hunt, drafting people up. And I'm interested to see how this team performs out here today, because this is a whole new team. I have a feeling some of them may be upping their Zwift craft a little bit. Now, obviously not Carrie Stewart, level 84, but I mean, this is interesting to see sit in 4th place right now overall.
And look at the quality of the other riders in this group, right? That right there tells me that they're punching way above their weight. And I'm with you, Nathan. When I was looking at the start list, part of why I think we're in this situation is we've been covering the B's, the C's, and the D's a lot more, which has been great. We've been able to spread the love on Zwift Community Live out, but because of that, we haven't been with these women every race of this season. And some of those names transcend the sport, even as far as they're some of the biggest talents in esports. But if you have a rider who's been coming up, and obviously they've been collecting a lot of points, they're sitting 4th here in the season, talking about Wahoo Lacole now. But Nathan, I didn't want to say it at the start of the show, but the only name I recognized really was Katy Perry, and that was because of the musician, not because of this Katy Perry, right? So now this is how you make your name in Zwift esports. Perform the way that these women are.
I recognize Katy Perry also. I mean, obviously as a Zwift County finalist, but that's just recently, only because she and Gabby went head-to-head in Zwift Grand Prix for second place. She took 3rd, right behind Gabby actually, in that over the top of the Alpe d'Huez Zwift, so she can climb.
She's had some incredible results. Good talking about Katy Perry, right?
Yep.
She's had eyebrow-raising results, but the rest of these women, good for them.
I can't help but start thinking of hit singles when you say that, though. I just can't. It's just hard not to.
Firecracker,
Roar. Yep. I'm yeah, she's had some really good hits.
California Girls, I think, was another.
Oh my gosh.
I'm embarrassed that I know that. Even
yeah, you know more than I do. That's I'm just gonna leave that there. All right, here we go. It's pretty calm, Dave. They're definitely playing this interesting here. The way that they're riding this is really quiet so far.
And I mean, Nathan, traditionally, this is sophisticated bike racing is the best way to put it. And I can understand now that's a chase group that's coming back.
Yeah, I'm looking behind here. Yeah, I just
right?
wanted to show real quickly here. There was now Steph Clutterbook. I don't know what happened. This is not like her. So she found herself off the back, and she's riding for Movistar here. And there was another Movistar rider actually here as well. I saw just a moment ago. But interesting to see that now 24 seconds though to that chase group, and this is going to be Koolhaas, Rixdal, Frankter, and Young here. So this is going to be a tough one for Team NL. 3 riders already off the back. They're going to have to put in an effort here. They're going to just have to hope that some of the riders up front find themselves in some sort of trouble so they can make some check catches here.
Yeah, I mean, you do what you can with what you've got, and that's what they're doing right now is just working hard. This is going to go back to the front group here. Cecilia Hansen, cool as a cucumber, sitting. The climb here today on Leg Snapper is significant, 7% for 450 meters, but it is not such a feature that you'd want to choose a climbing bike. You're definitely going to want to go with the fastest bike that you can find, and that's a good part of why you see more than half of the riders in our front group with disc wheels today. They're looking for speed, not lightweight.
Yeah, 100%. I would put a stamp on that. Rarely on a course that's got this little elevation would I want to have anything other than a fast bike. Most of the time it's going to be about speed out here. When things get really silly with the attacks, it will be those little bit of meters you lose from speed, not what happens over the top of the and the punch over the leg snapper is so hard that you actually carry speed that
you're going so fast that aerodynamics still matter on the climb almost as much as lightweight. So I would even say, Nathan, that if the leg snapper was 2K long, then the conversation would become relevant about whether you would want a lightweight bike or a fast bike. But with it at only half a K, and the fact that you're going up it at 30, 35K per hour, definitely the fast bike. And that's exactly what we saw from Ken Chung taking the win earlier. Ken was Indonesian.
I'm really surprised here, Dave. Honestly, yeah, Ken was Indonesian. It was solid, perfectly timed attack actually when he went, and it goes to show like if you've got that kind of a kick, because I don't think if he would have went toe to toe, I don't think that he may not have been able to win. He doesn't have the pure watts, because you still get rewarded from pure watts, and so like going up against like a Holden would have just smashed with the speed purely on the flat there. So, I like what he did there because there were a lot of big boys there that could put down something up into the 1300s. And I have a feeling he may have gotten rolled if he didn't do what he did.
Yeah, no, I would agree that he used his head as well as his legs for sure. But these women, when this one goes, believe me, it's going to be like opening a bottle of champagne on the podium. It's going to explode. But right now, it's just sitting on ice. I
don't know if it's going to feel that good, though. I think it's going to be.
Well, if you're Biniam Gourmet, you don't want to get hit in the eye with the cork, right?
Now, here's the thing. You're right about that, though, isn't it? Like the calmer it is, the crazier it is when it does pop off.
Think of the charge these ladies have on their battery.
And one thing I got to say, so Dave, I got to say this. So when I first started road racing, I came from mountain biking.
You would have attacked this race 3 times already.
I was always like, why is road racing? I was like, the start of the road race, I was like, this is so easy. What are we doing? I'd be so bored and whatever. And so I always made it hard. Right, I always made it hard, and then all of a sudden, the courses that I did jump into were courses that suited making it hard, so I didn't feel it as badly because of that. But once I got into a race that was a little flatter or more of a crit where you could sit in a little bit more and riders could just watch, wow, was it different? Like at the back, like when it pops off like the start of a mountain bike race, but you're like 2 hours in or an hour in or whatever it might be. And
you never really know.
Right. It was like, I didn't realize how much the point at the end of a road race was way different than the point at the end of a mountain bike race, where the point at the end of a mountain bike race was more about the consistent threshold effort and some anaerobic. Whereas like the point end of a road race is like freaking zone 7 over and over and over and over and over again, because you've got so much reserved if they've made it a race like this.
Well, and that's a big part of it. Your teammates help you stay as fresh as you can as well to get to that point. I absolutely loved back in the Tour de Georgia days, or talking about like when Mario Cipollini came over with the top Italian World Tour pros, and they absolutely despised the American style of racing where there'd be attacks in the first 5K and they'd be yelling at riders, slow down, piano, take it easy. What's wrong with you guys?
Really?
Like, oh yeah. And to the point where they were like, we're going to have to teach you guys how to race bikes even. And the European pros definitely laid down the law.
Teach you how to race bikes. Oh my God. You're going too fast. Stop it. There's a
and what's crazy is you think, well, they'll do whatever they want, but ultimately the Italians were right.
Really?
Right?
Really? So it was like, all this attack and everything was throwing down, but it just did not play out for him, did it?
And there was the weird reciprocation or lack thereof of, hey, if you're going to make us race this hard in the first 20 or 30K, we're going to make the rest of this stage race so hard for you and your team. You're going to really regret poking this bear, believe me. And they did. By the time the race was over, the Americans were picking up their teeth off of the ground where the Italians were going up to collect the champagne on the podium, right? So that's not quite true. I mean, this is back in the Lance Armstrong days as well, right? Where, what Lance said in the peloton, if Lance said nobody attacks for the first 50K and you decided you wanted to attack, there'd be kind of a weird vibe when they caught you.
Weird vibe. Oh, man.
Yeah. You weren't appreciated by your peer group.
Well, I've got a vibe. There's a vibe happening now.
Here it goes now.
Yeah, somebody said it's okay. It looks like Abe. Well, we haven't talked about this team, have we, Dave? Not a whole lot yet today.
No, and this is good for them, because here we go. I think this is going to activate the race, and you can see that they're going to be throwing down now. So this is going to be the second trip up the leg snapper. They've got one more trip, and Emma Todd is going to light the fuse, and it looks like the BL13 is going to respond. They've got a few riders up here near the front, so it was only a matter of time. It still hasn't gone quite ballistic here on the second trip, but they're lifting the level now. Racing definitely commencing at a higher level, but up and over the top of the leg snapper again. It's not absolutely crazy, but there are some riders right now at the back of this group that are really starting to feel the sting.
Yeah, let's see if we can see where exactly the split's going to be. There it is. Stern here. BL13 has to get on terms. I think this one is going to split here, Dave. If they continue at the front, that's going to be the big question. There's the arrow power that's going to help a little bit. Sykes, no, who's got the arrow? It's going to be Cyan, actually. Cynan Jones with that arrow may bring them back, perhaps. But Dave, it's I don't know, 2 seconds. And if they continue at the front, that's a huge split. We're only going to see about 20 make it, but they've got to continue. We do see it is the coalition rider here for Sadi that's just able to barely get back on, but now going backwards, actually, Dave. Riders getting spit out the back.
Yeah, all right, red alert, here we go. That front group, now they're going to realize that they've got this gap, and that's going to be, we talked about what a star Polona Itkin is, the Onion riders up there, Alice Lethbridge, one of the all-time greats. Nathan, if they can carry on, and they're going to roll over the top. You see some power-ups being deployed as well. So this is it. I think that selection was made. Let's start taking some inventory in this front group. Let's start with Aeonian, Nathan. How many riders did they get through? It only looks like 3 to me right now.
Yeah, that's interesting. And it can hear now pushing the front a little bit at the. No, that's gonna be
Hill.
That's Hill. Katie Hill. They must like exactly. Now there's 2 riders here, Hansen and Hill. Oh, what? Watch out, Katie Hill.
Biggest talents.
This is insane going right here,
this could
right now.
Go. Yeah, I mean, Katie Hill is at such a high level right now. Her teammate, Polona Itkin, helped initiate this. It's a long way from the finish line. The finish at just under 27K, but Katie Hill is not playing around. This is significant, and there's going to be riders. So, Nathan, I don't know that this is as much an attack as putting riders into the hurt locker behind. You can see it's splitting the chase right now as Katie Hill's having a huge effect on this race, and it looks like it's going to be her teammate now, Cecilia Hansen, jumping up. They're trying to get a 3-rider breakaway going here.
Yeah, and this is a good breakaway to have, actually. Whoa, big attack here, and this is good. Hansen over the top. That's exactly what you want to see, and she knows the course. Good job on Cecilia. She knows exactly where to go. You take speed onto this downhill through this section, negative 3%, 56. She can almost get into a super tuck, actually, if she really punches right here. Up into 51 now, and over the top of that little 3% grinder now. Dave, this is perfect because look at the speed behind. 48 from SZ. Huge difference in the speed differentiation. If you're smart enough, you can get that gap, Dave. It's going to be interesting if you can hold on, though. They sped up a little bit behind here. Interesting 53.
Yeah, they're going to catch her.
It through.
Yeah, all right, this is a who's who of esports, no doubt about it. So go ahead and pull up a chair. This is going to be some phenomenal racing as we head out on the last lap here in Innsbruck Ring. So Aeonian has to like the situation, but they're not just able to roll this group. Steph Clutterbuck is there. You can see the rider in the Movistar kit. Yeah, just about every name that you're reading here has potential to win this race outright. Wahoo Lacole's Katy Perry is still there. So, all right, Nathan, I think we're going to maybe have a little bit of a moment here where they settle down before we get back into it on the leg snapper here. Polona Itkin, who helped initiate this, now out the back of that front group.
Was not expecting that from Itkin. 7 seconds now. She's going to probably look for a sprint amongst the group behind. 17 off the front now, and she's going to take on this 18th place. She's going to wait for that group for sure. She's got a good kick, so she most likely wants to rest up, not get dropped on the next leg snapper. Hansen now at the back doing what she does best. Wow. Now, are they in trouble?
Do they go slow enough that she can rejoin, or is she
No,
definitely...
she's 2.4.
Yeah, she's going back.
2.4.
You're
She's
right.
going back. No, there's nothing left in the tank. It looks like 3 here, 3 SZ, 3 BL13. Dave, BL13 are in a really good position, and they are currently second overall right now. The Thundercats, we didn't talk about this much, but Dave, talk about putting a roster together in 1 year.
Yeah,
BL13, this came together at the beginning of this entire Zwift season or year, and look at where they're standing against one of the best teams in the world.
I think they did the best job talking about BL13 of integrating a women's team into the men's program to create a cohesive entire program. As you're exactly right, these women have really stepped up talking about BL13, and they're stepping up again out here today. We mentioned Leah Stern, the Swiss rider, at the top of the broadcast. They have 2 South Africans on this team, Jenna Baril and Jill Pruitt, Hannah Trelin and Catronia Morrison making up this squad. Catronia is the Scottish rider on the squad. But taking a look at that team, I certainly would put them in the running for team of the year as far as starting from scratch and building up a program like that. Well done to BL13. So, all right, Nathan, getting some inventory here. Swedish Zwifters also got 3 into this group, so they also should be feeling pretty good about the way things have been playing out.
Now, is there only 5 showing up today for the BL13 crew? That would be my other question. Am I missing one?
I think it's 5, to tell you the truth.
5?
Morrison, okay. Trelin, Baril, Pruitt, and Stern. Yeah, I think that is the case.
I'll have to double check and see if I'm missing one, maybe out on course. But what I'm seeing on the roster when it comes to, sometimes you can miss one if somebody has
because
a
they have a
team
different
name
team
or something.
Right.
Yeah, but
I'm not seeing anything that stands out to me.
Yeah, me neither. So perhaps, but they did make 3 in this group up front, as you can see. It's going to be, as you said, Catriona Morrison, Hannah Trelin, Jenna Baril, Jill. Jill's last name is going to be Pruitt, and then Leah Stern. Now, who is here, though, that's made it into this front group from that BL13? Oh, Fox. Fox is going to be the other rider. There is one more, it looks like, but I'm just seeing her. I'm literally just seeing her in the lead group, but not on the start list.
Yeah, she's definitely not in the Zwift Power start list. So, but she's there. That's noteworthy.
Yeah, she's at the front of the group, so she must be, right?
She's in full effect there.
Yep, for sure. Watch out for Lizzie Fox. We'll get a highlight. I'm not actually familiar with Lizzie too much. I think maybe once we've done some coverage on her and this whole crew. things coming right on down. They are really playing cagey here. I'm actually watching to my right.
How far back is the second group?
The other zone 2 of the EMEA. Gabby's racing in it right now. They're 19.3 and they started a minute behind. So this crew's definitely been cagier, whereas there's attacks left, right, and center in the other one.
It's so interesting when you look at how different races play out. This group has been either full gas or this chilling out. There's Lizzie Fox. As we take a look, relatively new, level 37.
They're letting them come back here, Dave. Completely.
Yeah, I was just wondering, is that second group going to rejoin? And they are.
And Iken's there? Huh. Interesting. Now, Dave, I mean, do you think this changes anything? Do you think that
So when Aeonian made that huge effort there about 5K ago, and it wasn't working out for them, when they pulled the pin on it, this is exactly what happens. There was no reason for them to carry on, and odds are pretty good that the riders who got dropped the last time up the leg snapper will be in trouble again this next time. So I would expect these groups to sort themselves back out in a somewhat similar way, but you never know. That's the thing about racing that makes it so fantastic to watch, is that every now and then you see things that just blow your mind out here. And maybe today's that day, but we are back together. I don't know that too many people would have anticipated that when we saw them coming off the backside of the leg snapper. Nathan, does it look like it was going to be full gas from there on in? When Katie Hill attacked, I thought that might actually be all in for the rest of the race.
Yeah, true. I thought that it was actually going to be a complete split and we're going to see a breakaway, but was unable to stick it there. It looked like her teammate over the top, but again, brought back together with Cecilia Hansen was brought back in, but Aeonian, they've been the aggressors out here. BL13, they're covering and killing the moves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 BL13 riders. How many Aeonian do we have? Because those are the top 2 teams to really be thinking about when it comes to the overall standings.
4, 5 Aeonian.
5v5 out here today.
It's 6. Excuse me.
Okay. Well, that's going to be an advantage. So BL13, they're going to have to do something. Now, it's a reset, though, here, isn't it, Dave? So you could see some matches being burned. You could see some tactics play out from both of these teams to try and get some separation because they're going to be watching each other, knowing how close the standings are. Now, SZ are another team to watch, currently in 3rd place, and they're only 1 point behind, though, when it comes to this top 3. So, again, that's another part of this conversation.
The thing that's really noteworthy, too, is that there have been no bonus points out here, no FAL or FTS. It's all at the finish line here today. That has a huge impact on the way that this race happens. So, Nathan, if there were FTS and FAL, this peloton would have never stayed together like this. They would have split it within the first couple kilometers of racing out there. But because all of the points are waiting at the finish line here, tactics are entirely different on a day like today.
100%. And as you can see, the tactic is starting to play out here as it's going to be Perry making a move here toward the front. Not going to be going anywhere just as of yet. As we can see, it is going to be brought back together. I actually was getting, I think, Perry and Hill confused earlier. My mistake. As we see there's, I think, 2.
So there's a Katie Perry and a Katie Hill. Katie Hill was in the Zwift Academy.
Yeah, and I think I was misnaming across the 2 for a moment there, getting them a little confused. Apologies on that, everybody.
Too many Katies. You were overwhelmed for a moment there.
Overwhelmed by the Katies.
It happens.
It happens.
Good to see Alice Lethbridge out here racing. Alice has been one of the cornerstones in the Zwift community. I just saw her the other day. Someone had some questions about getting into racing as a woman, and Alice was like, just shoot me a message. I'll take care of you.
Yeah, and there's actually she's a part of this amazing crew that's helping put together a lot of resources for ladies to get involved in racing too. So,
including Zwift Insider. While we have the women racing, it's certainly noteworthy what Eric has been doing there, creating a whole new area of resources for women who are getting into racing, no matter what level.
Yeah, we'll actually be having the people who helped create that part of the site on the podcast this week.
Oh, cool.
So we're going to do a little interview to chat about women's racing, what's going on with it, and getting involved in the scene, as well as just women's Zwifting groups. So definitely want to check that out this week on The Wrap with our guests, It'll be a lot of fun. I need to get exact. Let's see here who we're gonna have. Make sure I got the information correct.
It's a great topic, though. Super timely.
Yeah, really, really good. Two guests this week, Becca and M. I didn't get a last name, but I think it's M. Nyquist, and then Becca. I'm not exactly sure, but you probably see it on the article over at Zwift Insider. Clutterbuck. Now here we go. Though
So here we go.
Talk about women's racing as things are going to be
they're going to show us what.
Off.
So this is the only place where the Ghost might do you some good. So we're going to see that being deployed. But obviously that feather, that's the lightweight power up that's going to have a huge impact here as we take a look at our front group. And we're going to be selecting, there's Katie Hill, the Ionian rider, right on the front. Who's with her is Anna Embring, Marlene Bjarhed is there, Celine Hansen. So a lot of the Swedish riders are there. The aforementioned Alice Lethbridge in the mix. But how about the BL13 Thundercats? This is the South African Baril on the front as she brings them up and over the top. Let's see what happens now.
Yeah, nice little kick here. This is going to be danger for the rest of the ladies again. I like it that she's trying to cause the separation. I think the idea here is she saw the weakness from Itkin the last time around and wants to get that separation. She saw that not all of Aeonian was able to take this punch on quite where perhaps the reality of BL13 maybe could, but they are covered pretty well there. We've got 3 Aeonian actually, and actually BL13 might have put themselves a little, well, look at the cover over the top now. Is that going to go anywhere? I don't think so, as it is going to be Morrison just keeping the speed. Heart rate's only in 160 here, recovering very quickly. Nicely to see.
Well, from what we saw earlier, definitely want to keep an eye on Katie Hill. That's hard to do when she uses the Ghost power up, but I don't think that she's using that to do damage at this point, just staying on the front here, group thinning out. It was interesting to watch. We ended up with almost exactly the same group of women in this front group after a third trip up the leg snapper, and now it's all come down to this, just a few kilometers of racing. It's going to be a reduced group sprint. There's no, or does someone pull a rabbit out of a hat and get a gap here? It's going to be awfully hard to do that. So attentive. Look at the positioning from BL13 out here. They're really doing a tremendous job right now.
Yeah, Morrison's sitting in a really good spot here, it looks like. I love the picture. Nice one, Morrison there.
Catriona Morrison. Yeah.
That's
I like her style.
Scotland, and what are they called in Scotland? That section. I forget. There's a name for what that looks like there, but good to see the pictures there out in the wild. Probably mountain biking. It looked like there. I don't think. Well, maybe. But now coming on through, one more power ups can be collected. We saw a lot of them used on the downhill actually there. So there's gonna be one more collection of power ups coming into the last couple of K here. 36 minutes in. We will be jumping in with the men here in just a moment. I know some of you are probably like, where is the men's EMEA W Eastern 1? We'll be jumping across in just a few moments. We're going to get the finish of this women's race, and then we'll go across on over there as the ladies are ramping things right on up. Harper now making her way forward. Lethbridge is here. Katie Hill. We've got, Hansen, I think you can't go by her right now. Stern is here, though, Dave, trying to get back. Stewart, interesting. Did I actually see Stern? Is she still in there?
Leah Stern is not still in there. No,
she's not. Excuse me. No, that was Stewart I was looking at. So,
actually, you know what? I think Leah Stern is still in there. Let's hold off on that for a moment. But wow, okay. So what I'm doing, Nathan, is trying to figure out what team has the advantage here.
No, Stern went off the front. So that was a chase group. Yep. That was a chase group, actually. That's why.
But she is
now
there.
Off the front, it is going to be Hill. I missed the attack there because there was a chase group we clicked back to. Now Hill goes. Apologies on that for the coverage, everybody. I didn't realize that was a chase group we clicked back to, but now Hill goes at the perfect section. And Dave, this is a really good move. Forces Lethbridge into the feather power up. That's an all-in commitment. But what happens here is Hansen can sit in and wait for the sprint.
And let's see if that's the right play. I tend to think it is, Nathan. Swedish Swifters well positioned. Hansen, Aeonian rider, formerly with Swedish Swifters. This is a big pickup from Aeonian. And Aeonian trying to pour it on right now. Let's see that Leah Stern, you can see the Swiss rider moving herself back up to the front. That's a big name to watch out here as we bring this into the finish now.
Lethbridge is going to go. This is it.
Coalition
5.4 watts per kilometer. Stern trying to come across now. As you can see, Stern now, 4 watts, but it looks like 6 watts per kilogram. Big kick from her, but I don't think it's going to be enough here, Dave. Lethbridge has played this perfectly, it looks like, unless there is an insane amount of speed here. Lethbridge is going to take this down.
What a quality win for Alice Lethbridge, a legend in the community. She's been top-notch since the first pedal stroke, and this is a big, big win for the Palmares of Alice Lethbridge. So the coalition rider going to take top points now. Look at the push behind it.
Oh, Hansen across the line. Nice kick there from Cecilia Hansen to take it down. Oh, my gosh. And I've got to say, I just saw the coolest freaking sprint next to me from Gabrielle Guerra as well. Holy cow. The women's racing is so crazy, dude.
This is what it's all about. No question. It's going to take a minute to collect all the pieces and figure out what we just witnessed. This racing is going on.
Sorry, but this is like all things fire in here. Women's racing is absolutely on fire. I love it, what we're seeing from all of them.
So Gabby, for folks wondering, if you're familiar with the broadcast, you know that it's Gabby racing right next to Nathan there, but not in this race. And that speaks to how many great events there are going on at any given moment. So she was racing in Innsbruck Ring, just not in that the same race. But we've got so much more racing ahead of us out here. Let's take a quick look as Alice Lethbridge does hold on for the win with Cecilia Hansen winning the field sprint, but in front of her teammate, Katie Hill. So good day for Aeonian out here. I think they may have done enough. We'll have to look at all of the points as they're gathered up. But Alice Lethbridge, congratulations on a great win today. Cecilia Hansen for silver, Katie Hill in for bronze, Marlene Bjarhi for fourth, Leonie Harper for fifth, Sarah London for sixth today, Anna Embring seventh, Emma Todd eighth. Ninth place for our A women is Chantel Fouve, and rounding out our top 10, Asa Fast Berglund. So an all-star group out there racing. In 11th, it's Aileen Herrick. In 12th, Catriona Morrison. Leah Stern made her mark out there today, the Swiss rider. Jill in 14th. 15th is Steph Clutterbuck. 16th, Katy Perry. 17th, Lizzie Fox. 18th is Polona Itkin. 19th, Jessica Edqvist. And Linda Farzadi in 20th place today for our A women, out racing over 26.6K. In 21st, it's Ellie Sykes, Malin Rundqvist for 22nd, Femke de Zee in 23rd. 24th is Carrie Stewart, Heike Hedenbau for 25th, Sarah Olab for 26th. 27th is Joanne Trezis in 28th is Adele Battersby, Jenna Burrell in 29th, and Leah Sophie Rammert rounds out our top 30 for the A's today. That's EMEA Central 1.
What a kick to the line. That was pretty amazing, actually, from Cecilia. I mean, let's take a look, watch this back just a little bit here. The timing, and the kick there from Alice Lethbridge, the kick to the line from Cecilia Hansen, but Lethbridge there, I'm actually really amazed. She closes it down, and Dave, it was really smart from Lethbridge the way she did that, because she got across at just the right time and then was able to sit for just the right amount of time to go over the top with the energy she had left. They saw behind what was happening, but there's nothing they could have done about it.
Yeah, and to be fair, when you look at this from the perspective of a team win, they didn't need to. They ended up with second and third. They let the first go, but they certainly, Aeonian, put themselves in great position here coming into the final.
100%. We need a couple of minutes here, everybody, to jump over to the men's race as we get a replay here of the women's finale. Hansen coming on strong, able to get the better of her teammate Hill, but that's all for the team points, so just pride at the line as they take second and third, but Coalition with a big result.
Second, third, and fifth.
Like. Is that right?
Second, third, and fifth, yeah. So that right there is a dominant performance on the team element, but Alice Lethbridge taking the outright individual win. I think it really is worth looking at it from both perspectives, to tell you the truth. That win from Alice Lethbridge is a beautiful thing, and the performance from Aeonian keeps them on top of the table. They're on a perfect season so far.
Yeah, good call there. Well, we are looking to try and get across, everybody. Give us just a minute as we're struggling to get into the event for the men's race. We also have the next women's EMEA coming up here in just a moment as well. Just give us about 3 minutes or so, everybody. We'll get a crossover to that men's race as well as the women's in just a second. Give us about 3 minute break. See you in just 3.
Let them see your perfect imperfections. Don't hide from bad feeling, 'cause they just want your words. I won't let them take me. No, I won't let them break me. No one on this earth can bring me down. Now I'm standing tall. I won't ever fall. Concentrate on the tightrope. The hope that you make it through to the other side. Be who you want to be. Who do you want to be? Oh, 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 oh. Be who you want to be. Who do you want to be? Oh, 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 oh. Be who you want to be. Who do you want to be? Oh, 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 oh. Be who you want to be. Who do you want to be? Oh, 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 oh. Let them see your perfect imperfections. Don't hide from bad feeling, 'cause they just want your words, 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 words. Be who you want to be. Who do you want to be? Oh, 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 oh. Be who you want to be. Who do you want to be? Oh, 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 oh. Be who you want to be. Who do you want to be?
Well, thanks so much for the patience, everybody. We were able to get down into one of the pens. It was definitely a struggle to make it happen, but we were in an event, so that's great. In with the ladies, women's EMEA. I believe it is going to be Central Western one that we're jumping in with. We just covered the Centrals. They're going to be kicking off here in less than a minute, Dave. Really strong group. Ariel Verhaeren, Daniela Estrate, Joel Blackburn, Miriam Bullock, and Sabrina Kurtho from Aeonian. Aeonian again looking to dominate.
Yeah, we just witnessed it, and this is a whole new crew. It speaks to the over 200 riders that they've got on this Aeonian team. Verhaeren, the American Olympian from 2012, Romanian Daniela Estrate. So let's look a little deeper, Nathan, because BL13 is back again. Harriet Loudon, very strong rider. Irish Hans-Joshen as well. Katie Tridden and Lara Meyer joining Vanessa Murray here. So let's see what BL13, they're in the white and pink kit. As we watched the women earlier ease into it, let's see if this group plays it the same way, if they're going to roll it differently here.
Yeah, well, we also have Elise
Gallegos.
Gallegos,
Yes.
Carly Johan. There's definitely firepower here, Dave.
Yeah, Elise Gallegos is absolutely. I even hesitate to call her the rookie of the year because she's transcended that. She's in the matter of a few months has put her, in my mind, into this group of the top 5 American women racing esports in no particular order as well. So watch out for Elise Gallegos out here today on that Wahoo Lacole team. She's got Bianca May with us as well as Laura Simic. So Simic, Nason, is another one of the world-class talents that they've got on this team, along with Lucy Collins, Lucy Gadd, and world-class duathlete Rachel Downtown Brown. So Nathan, Wahoo Lacole's got a really strong team as well. This is a lot of talent spread out amongst multiple teams, which is exactly what you're looking for when you have a high-quality race ahead of you.
Yeah, and as you can see here, it is going to be 26.6 kilometers, 232 meters of climbing. We've got 33 in the pens, 33 registered, and 33, it looks like, have started out here for 3 laps in the ring. You know, Daniela Estrate, I want to, follow her at the start of races more often now. Did you see how far off the back she was there? But it had nothing to do with struggling. She knows, again, she is this Zwift craft queen when it comes to knowing how to reserve as much power as you possibly can out there on a day.
And right now, she's doing less work than any other woman on your screen, right? It might be marginally less, but where she is sitting, it's like drafting a semi-truck. Where she is. She's not worried. She's got a strong team. There's no reason to panic at all about, even if there was a blistering attack go off the front, I don't think that Estrate would even flinch.
No, not at all, because she knows exactly what's going to happen.
She knows what her job is.
Yeah, she knows what her job is. She's looking for the moments later. And this is why right here, we've got some of the best riders on this team, 59 points currently, but Wahoo Lacole Vitesse is looking to battle also BL13 Rockets. I mean, this is far from over. Look at how close it was for those finish line points across the league so far. That's not a big gap, Dave.
No, it really, I mean, if to be honest, the Aeonian Aces are in pretty good shape here, but all it's going to take, I mean, even if today Wahoo Lacole Vitesse is able to take the 20 points on the top of the table, they might have it down to 1 or even tied. So it's going to come down to that, to tell you the truth. The Aeonian Aces, I don't want to say they're on defense, but that's kind of where they need to be right now, being very, very aware of what Wahoo Lacole Vitesse and BL13 Rockettes. They are right there as well, waiting in the wings in case anyone stumbles at the top of the table. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And I mean, that's really kind of what Daniela Estrate is doing. If it were football, she'd be a fullback or a safety. Right? She's kind of there just monitoring everything right now. Is that Vicky Whitelaw there as well? The talent on this team is just amazing.
Just want to give everybody a quick update. If you are here looking for Open EMEA W Eastern 1, we will not be having that coverage. Apologies on that. You may be able to find some streams of that over at twitch.tv for some personal streams / search the Zwift game. I have a feeling there are a couple riders in there, perhaps streaming their race perspective. So apologies on that, everybody, but we weren't able to get into the pens for that race, something completely out of our control, but we are going to continue on, obviously, with the ladies, and I'm super excited for the racing in front of us. But just wanted to update everybody, if you were waiting on that, we will not be able to bring those images to you. But Dave, let's go. Vicky, tell Kate
We're seeing
to
a
come
replay.
back. Wait, what's going on?
I think we're seeing a replay of the women's race earlier. Now, tell Kate to come back.
I'm
I'm not sure. Yeah, I have no idea what that message was about there.
Perhaps there's maybe to come
they got the
race
whole
in
team
this,
at the back
to
of the
race
group.
in this, maybe to race in this specific.
No, what she's saying is we're all sitting at the back of the peloton. Come back and join us back here.
Gotcha. Okay. That might be what's going on there. Gotcha.
That's what I think she's saying, at least. I very well could be wrong, but that's my interpretation of that. What I was saying was that this race is playing out very similar to what we saw with the women's race we watched an hour ago, where there weren't a flurry of attacks leading into the leg snapper. They're just going to play it cool and wait until it matters before anybody makes any huge efforts out here, which is pretty logical, to tell you the truth.
As you see, Laura Simnick here, one of the Zwift Academy finalists as well. We've got both two of the ladies out here today. Racing with us, obviously. Prior to this, it was Katie Hill. Now Laura Simnick showing up, and I wonder how fresh the legs are after the Zwift Academy, as they're about to head into. Nobody really any punches, full energy bars across the board at this point.
All right. Well, and it probably stays that way for the next 3 trips up the leg snapper. Now, it's really almost impossible, isn't it, Nathan, to go up the leg snapper without there being some activity, but I don't know that teams go all in and commit themselves for the finale of this race that early. Now, Alice Lethbridge is racing again?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, she is. She's
is
at
she
least
here
in
again?
this field.
Really?
I just saw her name pop, which is very interesting. She finished
she won
her earlier race.
She won the last race.
And I mean, when did that was a half an hour ago that event finished,
yeah.
I would say.
Who is she racing for out here today is the question. Is there another coalition team?
Well,
there must be.
Yeah. I hope I'm not wrong.
No, you're not wrong. No, that's
so
Alice
incredible.
Lethbridge. That's 100% Alice Lethbridge.
Okay.
But here's the thing, though.
There
It
we
is
go.
a scratch race. It is a scratch race. It's not a sprint race. So you can sit in a lot and wait for your moments. And I think that, not saying that it's easier or anything, but it's easier than doing a time trial or a point or a sprint race, in my opinion, a scratch race like this.
Right, and exactly. With no FTS or FAL, you're not constantly having those surges that really take it out of you. So, yeah, a good Zwifter, as Alice is more than just good. She's great. Knowing her Zwiftcraft, it's doable. I mean, she won solo in the previous race. So, yeah, it's mind-blowing, but it shouldn't be in some ways, as these women have proven that they're up to this task time and time again.
It's a good way to get ready too, isn't it, Dave, for your season?
Zwift games.
Zwift games, the rest of the season. There's nothing better than 3 or 4 Zwift races in a row to really get some fitness. Now, something we didn't notice right up front is that we do have Team Castelli here, and that should have been taken notice because they have been really on fire as well lately. Kalman now making away to the front, but it's going to be Leonie May actually from WLC. Wow, big kick.
Yeah, she's going to open the account here on leg snapper. It's about 450 meters at a 7% average, and you can see that she's making the most of it right now. Bianca is crushing it, purpose-built for this climb. No doubt the 54-kilogram rider is flat out flying as she throws the Powerup up, and this is... Let's take a look at the gap that she's got a couple of seconds now. What's she going to do with that, Nathan?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she's got an arrow power up over the top. Now, she just collected another power up. Will she double it up with a second arrow? That could be interesting if she wants to continue on with this because she's not slowing down. 61 kilometers per hour. Nevin now pushes the pace at the same. It looks like they bring this back. Brown's on the wheel, not going to close down to her teammate as Leonie May continues on. Now, Dave, usually this is not very successful, but 64, as you can see, Dave, it's just too much when the pack goes over the top of there. Unless there's separation, there's just too much roll through speed when they
Well, the
come over the top of
counterattack,
there.
maybe. Yeah, BL13 did a lot of that work shutting it down. I mean, you can see it's almost entirely BL13 and Wahoo Nicole on the front. Aeonian is absolutely there as well as that team now they were at the back, at the bottom of the leg snapper. Now the entire team is up on the front, and we got a split in the peloton as well. It looks like, Nathan, we might be seeing in the neighborhood of 20 riders going clear. It wasn't a huge group, 33 that took the start, but I think a few riders getting their tickets punched at the back of this group, which is no surprise the first time up the mighty leg snapper. BL13 in good shape, though.
Yeah, BL13 looks like they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least in this main group right now. Where are they in the standings? They're sitting in third. So in the standings in third place right now with plenty of riders up front. But Dave, this is that Aeonian crew that does not miss a step. This is the crew that continues. I mean, well, they've got 59 points. So obviously they have not won every single race, so they've got their work cut out for them here. But Dave, this is that one that just tends to know how to follow and how to cover and how to kill every time that they need to.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not going to find a team that's better prepared for this situation. Although this is the situation, Wahoo Nicole is coming with heat out here today. Is Elise Gallegos going to get up there onto her teammate's wheel? Lucy Collins and Gallegos early in the race, but this is certainly setting a tone out here.
Yeah, Vanessa Murray now makes the cover. That's a good cover there. It needed to happen because that could have been danger just in any moment. As now they've got a little bit of a gap. Verhaeren says, nope, I'm going to cover this as well. Get it across. Make sure that this doesn't go anywhere. Kessler's there as well. You don't want to let Gallegos get too much room, and they know that, don't they, Dave? They know. They've seen what's happened when you put Elise Gallegos off the front of any race. She can just put the hammer down at high speed, so they close it right down immediately.
Remember, Nathan, that this is the Aeonian team that had the intelligence, the belief in themselves to allow Elise Gallegos to go solo and win a race, and knowing that they were going to win the team points based on the positioning that they had with their entire squad sitting. Basically, they didn't win the race, but they took second through seventh, which was more than enough points to win for the team. So they race as a team. And I think that, in certain situations, they're willing to let a rider go clear if it's going to take too much of an effort just to withhold that one rider. They recognize that there's enough points available for them to still win this race without having to catch that rider. So that takes a lot of courage to do that.
Good point. Definitely does. As we see Team Castelli, how many do they got here? 1, 2, 1, 2. Is there 2 here for Castelli? Or is there only one? Yeah, 2 that have made it here. It looks like
it's the light white blue kit that you're talking about.
This is who I'm looking for is Columbi, because she, again, we said it last time we did the coverage on this group. And again, Dave, she has been one of the breakout riders recently. Another rider who likes to go long and try and take things down early. I don't think she wants to come into a sprint. She wants to break things apart as fast as possible.
She wishes the finish line was at the top of leg snapper out here. Didn't she have a long solo breakaway in one of the Zwift Grand Prix events in the most recent season?
Yeah, it was actually in the Epic race. It was in the Epic race.
Right.
Yep. So
out there for quite a while that day.
Yeah, so Columbi definitely want to watch out for. Also, we've seen a ton from Celine as of recently, so definitely somebody to watch out for. Looks like the energy bar pretty high here at this point, and Nevin now going off the front though. Nevin, interesting little move coming from her, and now coming back together though, as not going to be going
anywhere. Still a lot of racing Nevin, ahead of us.
Maybe I got the I race like a girl confused there for a second. Actually, it's Kessler. My mistake. I thought it was Nevin. It's going to be Kessler now making a move, the professional triathlete coming out of the US of A.
Yeah, Meredith Kessler racing out of Texas, and she has been prominent and full effect racer over the last 4 years. Tremendous amount of experience with Kessler here, as it looks like we might see another group rejoining. Saw that earlier today as well. They split the first time up Lake Snapper, but a large second group was able to rejoin. There's Meredith Kessler. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm not 100% sure she is in Texas. I'll have to do some research there. Figure out where Meredith is racing out of.
Even after the splits, Dave, look at where Strate is. She just does not. I can't get over it. That, like, it's so predictable to find her right at the back, and she will not fight. She knows the game. And that's something that a lot of people don't know, Dave, is that when you overtake an avatar, you have to put out more watts per kilogram than them, or at least have more speed than them. Matched with a little bit of watt per kilogram, there's some algorithms that play out.
Keep doing that over and over, and you pay a price for that, don't you?
There's energy.
Right.
Like at the back of a men's field, sometimes I find myself, getting into this fight for the last wheel, and I'm just like, why are we doing this? Please stop. And, Astrate just trusts so much that she'll be like, fine, I'm not going to fight. I'll hang off the back by a few meters. Wow, look. Dave, this is all back together. We just got like 4 or 5 riders, it looks like, have rejoined.
Yeah, that was actually not only moving up, they just rejoined and went right through the group to reposition up there. No, that tail gunning is what you call this technique. And it's an interesting technique because you have to be a quality rider to do it. Because when it goes down, you need to be able to move up to the front immediately, almost teleport yourself up there. So, who used to do it quite a bit was Rasan Bahati used to tail gun in criteriums, and he'd wait until he knew it was going to go down, and then in 1 or 2 laps he would move from the back to the front. It's very, very similar here, because at that very, very back of the group, you didn't have to fight. You could just roll through. If you're good at cornering, you could just swoop them. Same concept out here, just doing a little bit less work, knowing you've got the goods when it comes time to pay the bill.
Yeah, now Kessler back to the front. As you can see, 10.7, pretty calm here still. Really quiet, it looks like. Not going to see a whole lot of movement just as of yet. So, as we wait for some of the action here, let's see if we can get some cool rider comparisons, actually. Kessler's going to be a rider, I think. Both being a triathlete, that is something I wonder, if you do look at a comparison across some of these triathletes, Luis Gallegos being a triathlete here. We saw, was it Jewett as well, I believe, coming from a triathlete background, Dave?
Yeah, not sure on that one, but I'm going to guess that a quarter of these women would identify as a triathlete in this group. It's pretty normal in Zwift Racing League to see a very heavy triathlon influence. Typically, then, using kind of rudimentary logic, that triathletes then should be good on the 20-minute power, not so good on the 15-second 1-minute power. That's kind of what you'd expect from an endurance athlete in this esports world. So I am curious to see how a rider like Meredith would stack up against someone like Daniela Strate, who comes in as, in my mind, really an esports specialist. I don't know if Daniela Strate having a cycling discipline that she specializes in outside of esports. If she did, I would guess it was standard road racing.
Coalition, Pip Paxman. Jumping in here as well. Not familiar with this rider. I think a little bit newer perhaps to the crew. As see if I can find some rankings on some of these riders here, because totally, I think there's been some revamps being done, as we were saying, across a few.
See who else is following the same mindset is Elise Gallegos, sitting on the back of the group right now. Not wasting any energy at this point. Lap number 2 of 3 underway. 2 more trips up the leg snapper for the women here.
Level 40 here coming in from Pip. 244 FTP. Currently, so a little bit newer, I think, to the world of racing. From what I'm seeing here out on Zwift, perhaps. Yeah, we've got racing all the way back to 2020, but not a ton of races. So I think jumping in, Zwift Racing League, though, this is going to be her first go this year. actually
All
picked
right,
at Zwift Racing League. That's a big pickup.
looks like Wahoo Lacole's starting to activate things a little bit here now, picking up the pace.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, things are really cool. Look at again, totally off the back here. And as you can see that nothing's going much of anywhere. Everyone's kind of just setting up for the leg snapper, it looks like, waiting and waiting and waiting each and every lap. But I think things are going to go ballistic this time. 2 laps in. We're going to have about a lap and a half to go here. Ligler sitting in. Paxman now making her way to the front. Last time we saw things completely blow apart. They did allow the riders to come back in, but I think we're going to get a similar separation here this time around. Now, will they do the same thing, or is somebody going to give it a go?
Yeah, odds are good that it's not going to be rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. I'm thinking that this group splits the next time up leg snapper and doesn't come back together. It's almost like this loop is a little too long, to tell you the truth. If we had the leg snapper happening twice as often, I think the racing might be a little more animated out here. This gap, but the interval between the leg snappers is long enough that nobody wants to roll the dice and take a risk.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. As with the shutdown that can happen so quickly, if you don't get more than 30 seconds on the gap when it comes to the time, and that's why I like to say that the best time to go is with the most amount of landscape in front of you before the leg snapper again, because they will kick so hard. They will bring back 15 seconds probably over the top of the leg snapper, and then the roll on the other side is the other 15.
Absolutely. Which really, I mean, knowing that, why would one want to attack right now? You know, it just seems like you've watched it not work out for riders time and time again. It's going to be a push on the leg snapper. There's no question. It's just not the race winning move.
Race like a girl in the front again. That is going to be Kessler, excuse me. Now Meredith again toward the front. Boniface here now. Loudon. It's going to be here. BL13 taking control toward the front. Now here comes a ghost power up. That's going to be Sony. Now the Italian rider. Now big move. They're not going to actually be seeing this in game here at this moment. So it's a nice little surprise here for Roberta to now make her way to the front.
Well, that was an effective use of the Ghost Power up there as Roberta now has activated this group. And here we go. I'm looking for Elise Gallegos this time through. It looks like Vicky Whitelaw is up there. Daniela Estrate has found the front. This is going to be a big moment. You can see not everybody's going to be able to go with this.
Simnick now to the front left-hand side of your screen there in the Wahoo Lacole kit. It's now going to be WLC with Brown to the front. The
Look at Wahoo
is there. Wahoo Lacole's got 3 to the front. Coalition. Aeonian's responding, but only 2 towards the front here. It does look like BL13's able to hold on, but Dave, it's a tough one out here today for everybody. Some of the names that are big names here. Estrate's right where she needs to be still. I was a little worried for a moment there.
I'm actually surprised at the lack of pace on that climb, to tell you the truth. That was the most casual trip up the leg snapper that we've seen today.
Blackburn, Ligler, interesting.
I mean, riders are rejoining the peloton on the descent. That's unheard of.
Yeah, it's interesting. Kessler's now still off the
I don't know if I've ever seen that before. And watch, this next group is coming back. They're coming back after the leg snapper, which is what this tells me is the final trip up the leg snapper, we're going to see the biggest explosion all day out of this group. You think
it's all being reserved just for the scratch, eh? You think really it's like just right to the line? They don't think it's going to split perhaps, or at least maybe make a split?
Oh, it'll split. But it won't be until the final time up the leg snapper. They've got. I mean, I'm genuinely surprised that they didn't go harder that time. I thought that's what Wahoo Lacole was doing. Well, they had the entire 6 riders up in the first 10 at that point. But I do think that, you know, listening to what you've been saying and understanding how this course plays out, you can attack and get a 10, 12, 15-second advantage, but there's so much racing still ahead of you that trying to hold on to that gap is impossible.
Third now at the back, coming out of Australia. This is a rider that's been a good pickup for BL13 as well, Kate. And I absolutely love it that they got these in real life kits. They've done a really good job with the level velo and BL13. 174 beats per minute out of Australia. Level 50. Using that feather. Nope. Actually, that's going to be right next to her, Vicky Whitelaw. Wow. Coming back, Kessler fought hard. Was able to drag her teammate back with her. Or was that actually
That's Aeonian coming back with her.
Estrade
Yeah.
helped out, it looked like, one of her teammates. That was interesting. Huh.
Well, a race like a girl is not really in contention to take Aeonian off of the top of the table, so no harm, no foul there.
25
Taking a look
riders.
at
Is
this.
this more riders than last time we went through? I think it is. I think that I think you're right, Dave. That was much more chill. And because of that, I think we actually have more riders involved here right now than we saw last time. Busoni was the one who set things up over the top, is actually off the back here. Kalman as well. Jewett.
Well, they're going to rejoin as well here. It's an interesting race for sure as we're out here now. Aeonian, the top team, they can't be too concerned at this point. Things playing out okay for them. It's really, what has Wahoo Cole got up their sleeve? I mean, they're the biggest danger for Aeonian out here. They've got riders to work with. They've got some real talent on that squad. It looks like they're saving it for the finale.
Carl Johan putting
They've
in
got a
big
plan.
work. Amanda Wendorf off the back with her too. It does look like we're going to get joined by Jewett, Kalman, and with Sony. They're all working together. They most likely will come back. Aero Power Up even being used now as 5 watts per kilogram coming from Jewett as she heads to the front. It's only 6 seconds. And Dave, they must have a plan because things are so quiet at the front of this race.
Yeah, there is no question in my mind that this will reset as basically a 30-rider peloton at this point. Actually, we might even get back to 32, I think, here as we hit the reset button one final time. They're inside of 10K to go. It's going to be this trip over the leg snapper and then the fall from the wall that happens right after that leads you into the sprint. We've seen attacks go clear, so it's not necessarily going to be a group sprint out here. Really, 2 phases of this race remain at this point. The way things look now, I imagine they lift the pace on the run into the bottom of the leg snapper, but it's going to be that 1-2 punch of the leg snapper into the finale that'll sort things out for these women here today.
Ghost Power Up being used, most likely doing that in order to kind of get ahead of things. I have a feeling, the whole idea here has nothing to do with trying to get away, but mainly just to reset that power up, looking for an arrow or a feather to go into the final time up over the top of the leg snap. They'll collect another 2 through the banners after that. And now we do see an arrow being used. That's an interesting use of an arrow, Dave. Would you have, arrow is so good. With 2 more opportunities, though, that's a little bit of a dice roll, Dave, because it's a 1/3 chance here out here to get either, you're going to maybe get a ghost, which might not be what you want. So personally, I'd be holding on to the arrow if I had one going into this section.
Makes sense. Really does. So it right now, almost too much time to think for these riders, to tell you the truth. This is as relaxed of a pace as we've seen all day. The previous race, somewhat similar, but this is taking it to a whole nother level of saving everything for the finale out here.
Super chill. It's 3.3 watts per kilogram from Nevin on the front, 126 beats per minute. That says everything that you need. This is, Dave, I don't know if I've ever seen this calm, like this much of a just controlled roll around of racing here. This is, and you could call it like, okay, they're just hanging out, whatever it might be, but there it is. This is exactly why, is that these ladies are stone cold killers, and they're like, I'm not flinching. Bam, there it is. And when they do punch, it's all in.
Yeah, and let's see what this does. As it could back off again, but I have a feeling that they've committed now into the finale. Rachel Brown is going to make that first move, and then it's going to be Loudon covering that. So there goes Brown and Loudon. See the composure of that group, or the complexion of the group, completely changing now as it nearly goes single file. We're down to 8K of racing, and it is on now. So, all right, now this is the moment, Nathan, that if you had been tail gunning, you might be regretting it for the next couple of minutes here.
Loudon covers quickly. Nicely done by Loudon. Murray's there as well. BL13 staying involved. Now it's going to be Jewett coming up over the top, coming from that AI Race Like a Girl team. Team Castelli presented by Elite. They're with Columbia as well as, I believe...
Look at this.
Brian,
Alice Lethbridge, Nathan. I mean, if there was one rider that would have benefited from the style of racing out here, it's Alice Lethbridge. She just made a massive effort to win a race earlier. Now she gets to almost go into recovery mode out here for 30 minutes nearly before now we go back into an active race situation. If Alice Lethbridge can go back to back, that would be unprecedented in ZRL history. And it's not like she's racing in groups that are substandard. These are world-class fields that she's racing in. As Columbia, another one of the animators and dictators in the Zwift Grand Prix, back on the front now. I don't know too many people that would be rooting against Alice Lethbridge going 2 for 2 here this afternoon.
It's going to be a big ask to make it, but if anybody can, Lethbridge, she knows how to time it. We saw it before. Columbia now continues on the front, knowing you knew it was going to come eventually from Columbia, and Lethbridge knew that that was a wheel that you did not want to let go, immediately shuts it down, and now the rest of the pack rolls right on through. Will there be a counterattack is the big question here from the teammate Bassoni as she got back on terms.
So my question is, what are we going to see from Elise Gallegos, Nathan? I have a feeling it's going to be something special. She's been getting better and better every week. If she's shown this kind of patience and understanding of race tactics, her acumen is at an all-time high, and I am going to be very, very interested to see what she does, because if she explodes on the leg snapper, it's hard to say what could happen.
Yeah, Gallegos, I think you're right. I think she's waiting for the 1-2 punch.
She hasn't done a thing
it's
so
a good
far.
Point. It's a good point, Dave, that she's been so quiet. The energy bar is high compared to some of the other riders here. That little extra does matter, up into 60 to 65% of the bar left after a couple of attacks, actually. So, Gallegos, I think you're right, Dave. She's not someone that just wants to sit and wait for the sprint, I don't think. I have a feeling she's really going to give it a go, but we'll have to wait. I mean, obviously, we have to wait and see here. WC, they've got the full squad, I think, still.
And it's a technique now where if she does go ballistic on the leg snapper and can get enough women that can go with her that aren't the top sprinters, she might be the best sprinter left in a group that comes together as well after the top of the leg snapper. So we're going to get a chance to see exactly how this is going to play out. Thanks for joining us here on Zwift Community Live as we're moving into our finale here for our women. We've got Elise Gallegos queued up. This peloton, it's like a ticking time bomb right now. You know there's going to be explosion. You just don't know when.
Yeah, and I think I really think that Wahoo, the reason that there's been so much calm out here is that there's so much on the line at this race that they came in with so many tactics. They take it so seriously that I think that Wahoo Lacole are really looking to stack the front end of this race to get some points back. And they know what they have to do against Ionian to make this happen out here. They know they have to put another team between them as well. So,
which is BL13.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting how it's almost like they're trying to keep BL13 involved and then make it hurt when it can matter the most.
Yeah, and I mean, boy, takes a lot of finesse, doesn't it? They're playing both sides of the coin there. And at this point now, they've done a good job of setting this up. The problem is Aeonian just does not make mistakes. This team has been phenomenal at doing exactly this, controlling situations, understanding race scenarios, and then executing to get the ultimate outcome that they're looking for. And I don't see any reason to think that Aeonian's not on top of their game right now. If this does come down to a Wahoo Lacole team victory out here today, it's going to take everything that they've got to pull that off, which is exactly the way it should be.
I just saw a little bit of half wheeling going on back here between Turden and Estrate just a moment ago. They were totally half wheeling the back there. Like, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. I could see it. And then finally one of them gave 3.5 there. Yeah. That was good stuff here. Now it goes Powerup at the front. I think that's just to get rid of it because they know that they need to collect something else over the next two banners here. Watching Estrate, I want to see how she rolls this through. I mean, if you want to watch some Zwiftcraft that is reserving energy for the finish, this is not somebody who's struggling. And some people might think, what is she doing? Why is she here? Well, watch. Rolls to 5, gets a little speed coming in. Now we do see off the front, Ariel Verhaaren's actually making a move at the front, her teammate. So obviously
Estrate's going to start moving up right now. There it is. See, Estrate's gone from the back of the group to the front of the group, and during this last sentence from me there. So Aeonian is now asserting themselves. The queens of Zwift are in attack mode, Nathan, and now it's Wahoo Lacole. Body blow after body blow. There goes Gallegos.
And Leonie May as well to the front here. I thought it was Elise, but no, it's going to be Leonie May here. 300, 400, 500 watts, 9 watts per kilogram over the top here. The separation is happening at the back
Big
here.
Big split. Yep, this is it. This is your moment right here, right now. Over the top of leg snapper. Wahoo Lacole's got the numbers on the front. Aeonian is going to try to respond. Nathan, it is on like Donkey Kong for the women now.
Yeah, WLC at the front. Look at that. Rachel Brown, Elise Gallegos. 3 WLC at the front. This is a danger moment for everybody else in this race. They are
Jailbreak.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. BL13's here. Ariel Verhaanen has made it, but where is the rest of Aeonian? They've dropped some of them. Will they continue on? Aeonian is not all there.
Now they have to press, and it looks like the Italians are going to join in, so the Italians are going to participate, and that might be the difference here, Nathan, as this is it. Everything is on the line for Aeonian, so this is going to be Giovanni here going clear. The big story is how many Aeonian riders are left in this front group, as it looks like they might have gotten cut out. We saw Estrate moving up, and I think she made the selection. I'm expecting that Ariel Verhaanen is there as well. Look at this. That's going to be Gallegos now moving herself up to the front, so at least Gallegos is the big danger woman, but for her, it's all about the teammates that she's got up in this front group. These are the Aeonian women that are fighting. Joe Blackburn, unfortunately, coming out of that group. From the Aeonian perspective, they are on the rocks right now.
2 off the back for Aeonian. I think all 5 have made it from WLC. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are all there. They might be doing this. BL13 are there. BL13 are there too, Dave.
Biggest moment in the season. Nathan, so right now, if Wahoo Lacole can take the win here today and get top points, we will have a tie, it looks like. If Aeonian slots in at third, it's going to come down to BL13. Do they take second on the day? Oh, this is absolute pandemonium here on Innsbruck Ring. Nathan, this race was an absolute yawner through the first 34 minutes, and now we've got one of the best races going we've seen all season. It shows you how bike racing is a very, very unique sport.
1, 2, 3, 4 BL13 are here as well, Dave. Now, look, Colombia's off the front, but here's the thing. Verhaaren's like, no, I'm going. And
that's not the problem.
Verhaaren follows. Now, here's the thing. The rest of Aeonian have to beat all of BL13 for them. I don't think that he can win the day.
I don't even think that's possible. I mean, Nathan, it's really interesting when you run the numbers. BL13 in this group, unless Aeonian takes, the Lioness's share of the top spots out of this.
That's my point. If they take like the win outright, plus they go 1, 2, 3 or something.
They get a first, a third, and a fourth or something, then they might be okay.
Exactly. Right. That's what I'm saying is that they have to really outperform at this point. Gallegos is just driving the pace. She does not want to let Celine go because Colombia has gone off the front now. The train was leaving the station. When Celine goes, you do not give an inch, and they gave a lot there, Dave, but will she be able to hold on? She can do this all the way to the line. I've seen it before.
And I got to be honest, Nathan, I don't think that Colombia is really their problem when you talk about the Wahoo Lacole perspective. As Celine Colombia, and it looks like she's going to come back into the group. This is going to be really, really interesting because the chase is being led by Wahoo Lacole. Yeah, Lucy Collins is going to bring this one back. Wahoo Lacole is in great shape now. That's the catch being made. This is your front group. Wahoo Lacole's got 5 riders, and Wahoo Lacole, if they win this one outright, that makes it even sweeter for them today. Wahoo Lacole having a master class being put down.
And Lucy Collins on the attack now. And look, it's totally empty. Dave, the tank is completely empty. And at this point, she is going on fumes. There's nothing left. The big kid. Here comes Ionian. Daniela Estrate. This is why she sat in the entire race now at this point. And she's going to give a free ride to her teammate Ariel Verhollen. Maybe take it down. Ionian are striking back, Dave.
Look at this, though. Wahoo Lacole will not roll over. They will not lie down as they are throwing another massive haymaker at the front of this group. This is going to be Lucy Collins. Is she going to try to hold on for the win? We're down to about 700 meters until this one is done and dusted. It's Daniela Estrate. There's your finish line. Lucy Collins is going to absolutely bury herself. Is Estrate going to make the catch in the final meter? This one goes to the line, and it looks like Collins is going to have enough. Lucy Collins, you are my hero. Wow.
Holy cow. Oh my gosh, Lucy Collins taking the win. But Dave, so many Ionian right behind.
Crazy.
It's going to really come down to it. This is so close on the points, Dave.
Nathan, so many times we've done speculation and tried to figure out what happened there. I'm going to leave this one to the facts, and we'll have to see where these are our facts for you. Lucy Collins taking the win in one of the greatest rides in ZRL history. From Lucy Collins right there. Daniela Estrate, you remain a legend, Daniela. Second place today, Vicky Whitelaw, and they might have done it, Nathan. I mean, it certainly wasn't an ideal scenario, but they did what you were talking about. Yep. So they got second, third, and fourth. Then you go back for Wahoo Lacole. They'll take fifth. It's going to be BL13 jumping in with, let me do this the correct way. Lucy Collins taking the win. Daniela Estrate in second. Vicky Whitelaw for third. Ariel Verharn. Those are three Aeonian riders in a row there. Then we've got Laura Simnick, the Wahoo Lacole rider. Irish Hansjosten is in sixth. Rachel Brown, another Wahoo Lacole rider, up there for seventh today. Lara Meyer in eighth. Elise Gallegos of Wahoo Lacole in ninth. And Lucy Gadd of Wahoo Lacole in 10th. Nathan, it's impossible looking at that to determine who the top team was today. Let's keep working our way down through our top 18. As Harriet Loudon in 11th. Kate Turden in 12th, Charlotte Wilson in 13th, Anna Nevin for 14th, Vanessa Murray 15th. It's Bianca Leone May in 16th, and Sophie Giovanni in 17th, and Celine Colombi in 18th. So Nathan, if you watched the first half of that race, you might have been asking for your money back. The second half of that race.
I know, at some point I was kind of like, okay, ladies, like, we got to, like,
throw me a bone here. Could someone attack or something?
Something. Can we get something going on? And then all
Isn't
of a
that
sudden,
great?
It just went ballistic.
And this is why, Nathan, when I say racers make the race, racers make the race. It's their race. They get to determine how it plays out. And if they want to race it extremely tactically for the first two laps, so be it. When they throw down, it's quite a show. So it looks like you found the guys?
Yeah, this is our final race of the day. Not this one. It's actually North. My bad. I picked the wrong one on the list there. It's actually North that we're in with. I'll go ahead and change that.
It's also not the final race of the day.
Well, no, it's also not the final race of the day. And here we go. We're in with Open EMEA W Northern 1. They're going to have, I think, is it going to be one lap to go here in a second? Is that right? Yeah. Yep. Right on into it. It's been absolutely flying. David Squirrel, thanks a lot. Squirrel with the beast helping us out. But it's Blomquist from ESRT that's on the front. Familiar names. Jailbreak here. Farm Watts, Pucker, watch out. You put him off the front. I mean, this is it. This is why we're covering this one. Restart's in here. And it's great to see.
I've got to give Restart so much credit for what they've done. Always been a great team, but man, they leveled up in a big way. So Nathan, I hate to do this to you. Might not be the perfect time, but can we take a look at how they're standing coming into this fourth race of the season? 6 races. Thank you, sir. Look at that. The Swedes, perfect so far. But then take a look at Dirty Beast, maybe unknown ESRT, and Mutant Z, basically all tied. Well, Mutant Z 1 point off of that tie, but Dirty Beast, maybe unknown, and Mutant Z all right there fighting for second as the Swedish Zwifters look pretty good on top of the table with 60 points. Wahoo Lacole in at 5th. Restart. See what they can do today. as they're sitting in 6th. RR Renegade Rhinos in 7th. ATGNI in 8th. Team Italio in 9th, and then Cryogen Valthorns. That's how it stands here. I think it's going to be fun to watch this battle right now between the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place teams as they try to establish dominance in this group. I think Hayden Pucker, Nathan, got to give this young man Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he's doing well. I really like that he's jumped into the esports world. I actually wasn't expecting it, to be honest. He's from Wisconsin. He's got a lot of KOMs locally. I'll talk about that a lot. And I actually was thinking about hunting some of them on a long ride here and there, to be honest. And, being in real life, seeing how much he is and everything, and then all of a sudden getting picked up by Restart and having some interaction with the Turbo team, I think that's what really pulled him in, was the community and seeing what they were up to.
Yeah, Jaden Yeager. I wonder, obviously, a road racer in Wisconsin as well, and on the Restart team. I wonder if they connected at an in real life event, and Jaden was able to convince Hayden to get involved in esports. I'd love to know the backstory to that. Also, he doesn't mountain bike race, Nathan. You don't see him at those.
Not a whole lot. No,
yeah,
mainly,
so he's a road guy.
I mean, also, to be honest, he might be a part of an up and coming younger generation that
right.
That I wasn't a part of mentoring. He's north enough of me that I wasn't a part of that mentoring, the crew that he would have been a part of. But also, though, Eric Hill from Project Echelon has some contact with him, and Pucker has shown up to some pretty top end. You talk about some of the fastest group rides in North America. I think you mentioned a couple coming out of California. I would say also come on over to Wisconsin for this Wednesday night that Project Echelon puts on, because it gets, Project Echelon, it gets pretty serious. It gets fast. I'll just say that. So, and Pucker has been a part of that, and I think that's part of the connection with him doing ERL, with Echelon putting on the ERL.
Thank you for that great background, Nathan. I would expect that Hayden Pucker, if he continues with cycling, ends up racing on that Project Echelon team. That would all make a lot of sense. That would track. Taking a look at the front of the group now as they're racing their way to the bottom of the leg snapper here, Nathan. Big group together. This is going to be interesting to see how they explode this one. But again, Hayden Pucker riding the front like a boss right now.
Yeah, well done here from Hayden to continually. I always like to see the way that he rides too. It's usually super aggressive. Doesn't just sit in and wait around. He makes the moves. That is also something though that has been a feedback to him sometimes, to maybe sit in a little bit more and play things a little cagey. But he don't care. Farm Watts don't care. That's the thing. And David Quintana now off the front, it looks like, and getting his Mario power-ups.
There you go. All right. So, and what Quintana is really doing here is lifting this pace now, as we're going to watch what is really, the most dynamic moment that we've been watching is obviously the run in to, and then the bottom half of what goes on the leg snapper out here. 450 meters long, 7% grade, absolute. Well, it's funny. I would say launching pad, but it's more of a diving board. Isn't it? You jump off it and then you see what happens. You don't really know.
It's a good point. That's actually a really good point. You definitely don't.
It's no launch pad though. Launch pad assumes that you're going to successfully go to the finish line. It's the number of times that
in here. I didn't realize that there was a Rhino team.
Oh yeah. Here. I think they're even nuclear.
Renegade.
Excuse me.
Renegades. Close.
RR.
The RR Renegade Rhinos here, they're going to be at the back of the pack, but at this point, but I've seen them pretty well. There it is. This is what we were talking about. We were talking about Rhinos. Well, now it's back to the farms, because I think that's WLC. We're all over the place now. Is it the Beasts? Is it Noobs? Where are we? Way back. This is not the front of the race. Diaz getting dropped, it looks like, but let's see if we can find the back to the front here in just a moment, everybody. Apologies on that.
I'm sure he really appreciates this.
There we go. Pink, now back to the front. It's going to be, I was trying to figure out who it was, and it was. I was correct. Blomqvist and Pucker. Now, a little bit of a push off the front. They immediately get 1 second. The pack, okay. This is interesting.
Yeah, it is. We haven't seen anything like this so far today, that's for sure. So Blomqvist, ESRT, they're one of those teams that was sitting there having a great season so far. Boy, this down to
maybe unknown. They're sitting in
5.5K.
third. They're tied for second, but they're on third because of the count back. Dirty Beasts there. SC Balder, are they going to have a good race out here today? Where is the rest of SZ? Now, as you can see, I'm not seeing. Well,
They don't have
they're all sitting in. They're all just sitting in, it looks like.
They don't have anything to worry about right now. Yeah, they're all in that group and pretty well positioned in the peloton as well.
That's going to be the light, the white with the multicolored blue and the little neons trickled in there with the big SZ on the back. For those that may not know, obviously most will probably know that. Well, there's a Ghost Powerup. That's going to be O'Leary. Cryogen looking to go across. He thinks something's going to be made of this, actually. And with this distance they have now, I'm starting to think maybe too. I mean, you need a lot of distance, but I don't know, Dave. I mean, will something like this succeed finally is a big question. You put Farm Watts off the front. We've seen him do amazing results from situations like this.
Yeah, and I'm not betting against him, Nathan, to tell you the truth.
12 seconds is huge.
Yeah, and with Blomqvist with him here, I tend to think, I know it's hard to sell this one, but I think they stay away.
Plus, there's 5 here. 1 or 2 of these could be sitting in and go across, too. I mean, O'Brien could jump. He could jump from this pack over to the other 2 on the climb. Pucker's given a little bit of a go already. Now, here's the question. How big are the orange numbers? That's going to answer everything right now.
Yeah, well, this is going to be really, and how big are the numbers can these two still make? That's the thing. It's not like they're at the end of their rope here, Nathan.
No, Pucker up into 700 watts, actually. This is a big effort now coming in from him in 17 seconds. Man, I think they're gone. I don't know. I mean, O'Brien's looking to come across 11 watts per kilogram. They're probably going to close it down. We might end up with a group of somewhere between 5 to 7. Now, when this is all said and done, Squirrel from the Beast here, now 10 watts per kilogram saying, I got to catch this. They can see him, Dave, but they're about to go flying over the top. Now, how hard that they kick over the top of this is going to be everything, because how quickly you get the speed going is how much speed you end up at the bottom. Now, Blomqvist now over the top, as you can see, 5.9 watts per kilogram. And now here comes O'Brien trying to get across to his teammate, ESRT, maybe with 2 in the break up ahead. Now off the back, it's going to be Mutant here. Now with the quick little arrow power up, hopefully use that prior to come over the top. Rhino's here, gap now between him and the field. He's going to get brought back in, but now with 12 seconds still to the pack at least. Dave, this may succeed, but they're going to lose, I think, 5 to 6 on the downhill and continue with maybe 6. Maybe. What?
Wow.
Oh, I see. Quick little feathers here because they know that's the best place to use it. I mean, perfect use.
Yeah, absolutely, Nathan. This is looking really, really good. You don't see finales like this often. Let's see what they've got now. We're down to, let's call it 3K to go. The thing is, even as that gap comes down, Nathan, these guys have the ability to double down on this attack. Incredible, incredible finale today.
Blomqvist sitting in the wheels. Pucker coming through 56 kilometers per hour. Blomqvist now at 54, as you can see here. Pucker continues 6 watts per kilogram now, 53 kilometers per hour. Garcia now at only 48. The main pack now at 60. There's the roll through speed. That's going to be the death knell if they can to that breakaway. Now it's going to be Worsdale there, but the orange numbers, they're still cruising at 55. This is what I was talking about. Now if they slow down though, 46. This is the difference. We watch how quickly that comes back. If they do not continue on, I mean, if the pack can continue on, Sharp is willing. There's a few still willing. Now, how willing are they? Only 46 though, Dave. Dave, they're slowing. I don't know.
Well, okay, that's your moment right there. I really think that this 10 seconds here is where the race is won or lost for these two. They continue to apply the pressure. Yep, gap is going to hold, Nathan. They're not coming back in my estimation. What a phenomenal finale. So restart. I believe they were in 5th So this should help. Let's see what the rest of the team can do to back up this effort. Restart in sixth, excuse me. But the gap is large enough there that really this is more of an ESRT moment that we're looking at right now. Hayden Pucker clearly making his star shine. But Blomqvist here, Nathan, could be changing the ultimate outcome for the season for his ESRT team.
Good point, actually, because they are currently in third place trying to take on the Dirty Beast. How many Dirty Beasts, though, are in that main group is going to be a big question. Oberman is there, and he's got a massive sprint, I believe. ESRT still with O'Brien, though, behind here, but he was trying to get across. A lot was used. Look at this. It's going to be Squirrel. Squirrel, big kick. 8.4 watts per kilogram on the downhill, 58 kilometers per hour. Now, as this starts to ramp up, Dave, Pucker just needs to put his head down. Blomqvist needs to work with him now at this point, perhaps, because these numbers are big enough that their speeds are going to be up in the 60 kilometers per hour. I don't think, probably can't bring them back, but 15 kilometer per hour difference, that is massive, Dave.
Yeah, no kidding. But I think that these guys have built up enough of a buffer. As a matter of fact, they have, Nathan. As you can see, the Aero Powerup being deployed here by Hayden Pucker. Farm walks on the front. As a matter of fact, Blomqvist right now is really just drafting a human motorcycle at this point. They're down to 1K to go.
196, 197, just trying to hold on. Is he actually like just ride? I mean, this reminds me of like a Consolera moment or something. Just ride off the wheel. Will he do it? I think that's what Pucker likes. I think he just likes to say, hang on if you can, because I'm going 7 watts per kilogram on the front now.
I mean, so you wonder, Nathan, exactly what you were talking about 15 minutes ago about Hayden Pucker has so much talent. The delta with him is really going to be in as he learns racing IQ. That huge pull might work against him for the overall victory, as it looks like that's the case, but he still gets second place points. It makes a statement for restart out here, but it is going to be Blomqvist coming through, picking up top points for the win, and all of the points today are waiting here at the finish line. This is going to be interesting as we now look at the rider coming through for third.
Yeah, and it was Squirrel. They were able to break away. I think it was Vidal that made the breakaway happen for the Mutants. Frisk now trying to hang on. SZ not really in the conversation for the top spots here. They may be losing out big time out here today, actually, as look at that. Dirty Beast as well, WLC. That's a lot of bodies ahead of SZ today, Dave.
Yeah, Nathan, we might see some changes on top of our leaderboard here, which has been really interesting as you get to this point. This is the 4th race of 6 in this season, and this was a good day for ESRT.
Well, there's Blomqvist at the top. Squirrel, that's going to be ESRT, followed up by Restart, followed up by the Dirty Beast, followed up by SZ. So that's that's all 4, all represented in the top 4. Interesting enough.
So what team is Karsten Vidal on here? Because this is going to be huge if he's ESRT, but he's not. Karsten Vidal.
Mutant. He's a mutant. That's all 5 teams represented. They're all represented. Actually, now you go to
who's the first team that doubles up on this leaderboard?
What
because
look at this.
Callum
this
Sharp is the Australian.
7th place is Rhino.
That's a different team as well.
Nicole. Yes, top 7 are it's Dirt that doubles up first.
Dirt first team to get 2 riders in the top 10 is Dirt. Isn't that exceptional? What that speaks to is this league has so much talent spread out amongst all of these teams. That's unprecedented, Nathan. Usually you'll see the top teams putting 2, 3, sometimes even 4 riders in the top 10. Here, we got 1 team. Well, actually, it's going to be 2 teams with 2. That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Let me run through them for everybody here.
Go ahead.
Jonathan Blomqvist on top of the table taking the win with Hayden Pucker, who it's almost a win in and of itself there as well. As Jonathan
410 watts, Dave. 410 watts for the duration of the race.
And there's a lot of guys who are in the 200s. I mean, not even the 300s. Hayden Pucker, I want you on my team. That's for sure. Can you imagine if, in the next couple of seasons, he's up there with Tyler Stites racing in Europe for Project Echelon?
That'd be so amazing. That'd be
a great
amazing.
Story.
Yeah, it would be. It really would be. I hope it happens. I'm going to have to visit Hayden pretty soon here. I'm gonna
I agree,
have
Nathan.
to visit. Go get. I'm not in the best shape at the moment, but he's gonna have to kick me into shape. We'll take a ride up to Fond du Lac and grab a cup of coffee on the lake. I think is what we're doing.
Sounds perfect. Well, let's give a shout out to David Squirrel as well. David in third today, Anders Frisk fourth, Karsten Vidal in fifth, Callum Sharp for sixth, Alex Warsdale in seventh, Doug Overman in eighth, Jakob Bjorklund in ninth, and then Mark Worthington rounds out our top 10 for the A's today. It's Seabrow in 11th, Brian O'Brien in 12th, Kuba Stendersky in 13th, Tom Birkinshaw for 14th, Daniel Gastelriesia in 15th, Mateus Balbeck in 16th, Tom Obdam in 17th. 18th place today going to Stefan Reimer, George Whitlock in 19th, and Jonas Varen in 20th for our A's in the Northern 1 group. Oh, that was fun. It was a great batch of racing that we got to witness out here today. Really different than anything we've seen throughout this season, Nathan, as it was very tactical in quite a few of these races before they got into that last lap.
It definitely was. Now, I did see the comments coming through, everybody. We were able, just for this one, to get across to the end of the D category. This is the final lap D category here. Going to be taking on their lag snapper for the Open EMEAW Northern 1. I want to apologize up front, though, everybody, that we weren't able to get across. We had a little bit of struggle with some of our feeds out there today, but this is the 1D category that we will be able to catch the back end of. So let's go ahead quickly here and take a look at how things are standing. We will have the standings for him as well because it is the same league as what we just watched just across to the D's. It could be the Galaxy Lasers doing well at the top. Look real quickly. That's a cool kit, to be honest.
Well, they're firing on all cylinders, Nathan. They haven't missed a target all season. They're 3 for 3. This is the 4th race of 6. Let's see if they can keep that going. Gets a little closer behind them, though. As you can see, Team Italy, Drink and Watt is sitting second with a 4-point advantage on Evo Bedlam. I like the name, Evo. In 4th, it's our Endangered Rhinos. I don't like that name because of the endangered part. RWB Ice Dragons, terrifying. In 5th, Adam Racing Team Muons. In 6th, Titanium D, all business, Titanium D. In 7th, Draft Bitter. In 8th, and then ATG and I, the Delegans, in 9th. So,
okay, they have the best names. Like, did you know
without a doubt,
a Muon is an unstable. So you have Endangered Rhinos, and then you have Muons, and then you have
which is an unstable
Ice
atom.
Dragons. Like, it's an unstable subatomic particle of the same class as an electron, a lepton, but with a mass around 200 times greater. Muons make up much of the cosmic radiation reaching the Earth's surface. Dave, they are unstable with a mass 200 times greater. These guys know how to have fun. That's
Sounds
for sure.
like
being in the D category, right? Like,
yeah,
really, like, you guys are awesome. Seriously, the Muons. I got to shout that out.
Yeah, and I want to go back and just say that the reason that we've been enjoying getting to meet so many of these Ds is absolutely intentional. And I know it didn't work out perfectly today, but there's been a big effort made to try to do more coverage of the Bs, the Cs, and the Ds, and we love it. So apologize that we weren't able to get as much of that today. But here we go, Nathan, right on to the leg snapper here as we make that hard right-hand turn. And it's an Australian. It's Mr. Milling here on the front. The Evo rider showing them a clean rear wheel right now.
Yeah, nice job for a Milling. Nice move here from the Australian. It looks like he's got a nice bike going on there. What is going on with this picture? 108 kilograms. Muons are not going to have anything on this guy, it looks like. At level 56, 196 beats per minute, 600 watts. He's getting 3-second gap. He's all in on the leg snapper.
And he's doing damage.
Look at that energy bar. I mean, it was full almost, Dave, coming in.
Boy, he's going to be tapping on the gauge here in the next 5 seconds, using up every last drip of petrol there in the tank because he's going to come up and over the top. So he might not win the race, but he has definitely had a huge impact. Let's see what happens now as this group of 3 looks like they're going to make contact. Everybody at the end of their rope. Let's see who's got a little more to give. Is it going to be a 4-rider group coming together? Michael Alls thinks so. The Danish rider pressing hard right now as our D-men bringing it down to 3.5K to go. And it's mostly downhill from here.
Drinking what, Giuseppe? getting back on terms. It looks like Rufo, nicely done by Rufo here to get back on terms with the rest of the riders here. At level 18, he's pretty new. Team Italy, that's really new. I mean, you get level 18 in just a few rides here, depending on how much he's been going at it here. So, I mean,
a few rides for you, Nathan. To be fair.
Okay.
Well, for Teppo, it's one ride.
Yeah,
right. So, yeah. But no, 100% true, Nathan. Level 18, in all intents and purposes, is a brand new Zwifter. So, very, very impressive.
Carl, I like that this guy's name is just Carl. Djibouti.
He's
Where is that?
Djibouti.
Huh.
That sounds like a Frank Zappa thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Wow.
It's an African nation.
Yeah.
I wonder, is he being serious?
I don't know, but I like it that's where he's from. East Africa, on the Horn of Africa, is a mostly French and Arabic speaking country. I mean, I would be surprised.
So it's right next to Eritrea, which is one of the great cycling nations in Africa.
That's the never-ending story. What? No, I'm just kidding. Never-ending.
Now
story.
you lost me on that one.
Never-ending story in Atreyu. Oh,
I didn't get that.
Rock Eaters and
really. All right, I'll look it up.
Valcor. Oh man, we need it. I mean, it's the nothing, and he meets the giant tortoise. I mean, come on, it's like
no idea what you're talking about.
Come on, chat, help me out here.
Am I too old for this, Nathan? Is that what's going on?
I feel like maybe it was just missed in the early, like late 80s, right? So just kind of my childhood. So now I'm aging.
Well, I'm going to say, who was the rider from Djibouti here? It's a beautiful flag. There you go, Carl. Well, Carl, I hope you are from Djibouti. That's for sure. The Republic of Djibouti looks like an extremely cool country.
Drinking what? No, there's draft bitter is in here as well. We've got some cool names. I like these guys. They just know how to have.
They seem to appreciate the finer things in life.
I mean, look at this guy. I mean, that's the way you really. That's the way you get that elevation training in. I've got a picture like that when I had a Hypoxico unit that looks a lot like that, just a little bit more modern, to be honest.
It's funny, all of the things that we do that we think are brand new techniques. It looks like he was doing it about 85 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Well, hey, there we go. Here's now that invisibility power up. I don't think that's going anywhere. It looks like maybe it was just, I don't know what he was doing, but it's going to be
going through the motions with the ghost power up.
Milling again. It's going to be Milling again. Evo on the attack. Oh man, I like this guy.
I don't think they bring him back. Yeah. I mean, after what we saw on the leg snapper, here we go. Chase is on. It's going to be the Rhino, the Danish Rhino. Al's coming in.
Michael, I like to look at these glasses too. He's got the 3D vision on Milling at this point. Locked in.
He's locked in.
Yep.
He's got the draft.
Things in the dimensions with those glasses on, everybody. The Rhino. Look, he's always got the Rhino setup he's got going well too. The socks, the black, everything. Well, I don't know. The helmet and the gloves, I don't know. We'll see about that. But this is pretty close.
I don't know. I'm feeling it for Milling. I like Australia a lot. Yeah. I just like the cut of Milling's jib. He's kind of like an Australian farm waltz to me.
All right. You put your aces on him. I'm gonna go in on the full house.
You got Michael.
Okay. Actually, if somebody from the pack wins this, then they're that's
Giuseppe is drinking Watt power.
Yeah, I mean, they're pushing a little bit back there. It's 2 seconds now at this point.
There's the finish line.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. Roberts is here, though, coming back. Look, now this is going to be... Oh, my God.
Milling.
Is he going to do it? No, it's Galaxy.
They're going to get jumped. Galaxy jumping them. So Galaxy, the top team in the league here, and they were perfect coming into this race, and they're going to take the outright win.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're going to have.
Here comes Giuseppe too. Giuseppe's coming quickly. Milling fades their fourth. Oh, Milling!
We're still proud.
The pocket aces didn't work out, Dave. That's what happens when you bet before the flop. Okay, you bet before the flop. Went too all in. Oh man, my full house didn't work out anyways. Though, what's the best one in all of poker? What's the one? Yeah, what's the?
I think a royal flush.
Royal flush. That's it. Thank you. For some reason, it just wasn't coming to me. The royal flush. So
that's why I'm here, Nathan.
Yep, to tell me about poker. Exactly why.
Yeah.
That is why Dave is here. We make sure that he
back you up on poker facts.
makes sure that I get my poker facts right. Speaking of, maybe we need to get together this summer, play some Holden. That'd be fun.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? It's funny how much we're into the 10,000 hours of broadcasting together, and poker doesn't come up very much.
I used to use it a lot. I used to use it a ton, actually, but it has changed up. I think I just haven't been watching the World Tour or playing with the kids
don't
as
watch
much.
that.
Me and my kids, I've been teaching my
Rings.
kids. I've been teaching my kids actually on purpose because it's a really good way.
Great way to
of
learn
teaching
math
them
and risk
patience
and
self-control. And like a lot of this, poker actually is a lot like life. You can't control things, right?
Math, odds, risk, reward. All of those things are there. It's just I don't like doing it with my money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't use. Well, I might make them use their allowance and be like, all right, let's see. Now you got. Oh man, that's a whole nother topic. All right, here we go. Let's get the results. The D category. It's is this right? Simon Roberts, Galaxy.
Yeah, Galaxy team and Fuego right now. And Simon Roberts is a spark plug. Good job today, Simon, taking the W. Michael Alls up there, the Danish rider, for second. Ruffo Giuseppe comes through for the Italians. Eaton Watt. So it was Milling coming in fourth. Jacob Tyson for fifth. Crispy in sixth. Gavin Quinlivan in seventh. James Lamb for eighth. Carl, ninth. Good job, Carl. And then Politi in 10th. That was our D's. In 11th, it's James Kraskell. 12th is Matt H. Sparky in 13th. Symes for 14th. Simon Gower in 15th. Ben Adamson in 16th. Jonathan Walker in 17th. Owen Conhady in 18th. And then Matthew McKeever rounds out our top 19. And that might be where we're at right now.
Yeah, that's all we got. That's all we got for now in the D category. But we definitely are happy that we were able to at least get that coverage of the D's. Again, and apologies, guys. We had a lot of struggles a little bit today going across events, but it was ended up with some great racing that we were able to cover. We'll be back for the Americas in just a few hours. That coverage will start around 6:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. Dave and I will be right back at it. We'll cover in the ladies, but we got a little change up this week. We're doing the 35 after this week for the Americas because they got Velocio battling it out actually with a few other teams in the let's see here. It's called the Open American East 1 East.
Great.
So we'll be in with them, and it's gonna be fun to see McCarthy, Charles McCarthy, I think is in there, and a few of the other big names that we tend to see hanging out in Z Racing, etc. So we also see SWAT in there, Draft, Coalition, Giant CC, big names. Optiman's going to be showing up. Restart's actually got a whole team in there. So a whole new crew for America's East this evening.
I challenge Hayden Pucker to come back and race again like Alice Lethbridge.
Well, you heard it, Hayden. All right.
Got our eyes on you.
Thanks a lot, everybody, for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, make sure to hit those follow, subscribe, like. We just hit over 13,808 as of the start of this stream. We're going for 14K, hopefully before the end of the week. Can we do it before the end of the week? Before the end of the month, for sure, is what we're aiming for. Again, we love you as a community. Thanks so much, everybody, for the support. We'll see you in a few hours for America's East and ZRL. From Dave and I, as always, right on.
Let them see your perfect imperfections. Don't hide from bad feeling, 'cause they just want your words. I won't let them take me. No, I won't let them break me. No one on this earth can bring me down. Now I'm standing tall. I won't ever fall. imperfections. Don't hide from bad feeling, 'cause they just want your words.